3 coplanar points, and bam, there's the radius of the Earth.
On the level.
The way I phrase it is a monument to the curvature of the Earth. It really is.
Level.
It really is.
Level.
And bam, there's the radius of the Earth.
No, but I'm telling him what happens in reality, right? How surveying works is the fact that all horizontals are parallel.
No, they're not.
In surveying, when you survey to do elevation changes, all horizontals are parallel.
No, they're not.
Citation for that, Bev?
The way that you're going to measure, you are not going to be able to differentiate flat from curved surface.
Of course I can. I can definitely tell the difference between a straight line and a curve.
Please, I just gave you almost 2 minutes uninterrupted. Could you please not do that? The way that you've got it set up, and the way that you have been talked to about this, Larry's gone over it with you, George has gone over it with you, Rumpus has gone over it. We've all gone over it with you that what you're going to do is not going to be able to differentiate between the two. Are you going to find that? Are you going to find that level is level? Absolutely. Are you going to draw a chord between the? Are you going to wind up with a chord between the water levels? Absolutely. Between one end to the other? Absolutely. Well, you know what you're not going to wind up doing? You're not going to wind up taking the measurement that is going to differentiate flat from curve, because you have set it up in such a way to where you are not allowing for any sort of differentiation.
How much geometry have you ever done?
Quite a bit, Bev, okay. And this is not the point where you need to just go ahead and try to go through my credentials.
You are aware that no two straight lines can share a common segment, right?
Bev, you can have straight lines overlapping each other in free space. Don't start that.
Sharing a common segment.
Sharing a common segment. What on earth do you mean by that? They can overlap. At that point, they're sharing a segment that is infinitesimally small. What are you discussing here?
Yeah, well, that would make it the same straight line. That's why it says no two straight lines can share a common segment. Because the moment they share a common segment, it becomes the same straight line. It's just one straight line.
I think you're misunderstanding something. Lines are allowed to intersect. That point of intersection is what is being discussed, not that there are two overlapping lines in the way that you have a curve into another line without it being something.
The proof from right line geometry is for a proof for a straight line, and it uses the very fact that no two straight lines can share a common segment. That's it. That's how you prove that it is a straight line.
What are you actually trying to get through here, though, Bev? That doesn't make any sense in the way that the test is set up. Can you draw it out for me and what you're saying?
I've already drawn the test out for you.
Oh, can you draw out what you're talking about? Because I don't understand how you're saying it.
Who is this that we're talking to? Who is this person, please?
What, Brian Peck? Or are you talking about...
Sorry, I've never met you before, Brian. Hello.
Wrong.
Hello. Good evening.
Yes, sir.
On the level.
The law of non-contradiction would also state that a straight line cannot be a curved line because they're two different things. You can't have one thing being what it's not, right? So they're definitely two different things, and we can tell the difference between one and the other.
And yet we are here, Bev. We can't tell the difference.
You can't tell the difference. Did you just say you can't tell the difference?
Using your eyes.
I can tell the difference. Dude.
Obviously you can't.
I can. Of course I can.
No, you can't.
Absolutely, Chike. What are you doing?
On the level.
I state that level is a straight line on a horizontal plane. I've given you guys a rundown from right line geometry from the first principles all the way to the end, right? The 7 basic facts. And then using those 7 basic facts of reality, I've devised the test to do. That is practical and available for anyone to do for themselves. The method
and it's utterly
is there.
fallacious.
a straight line can't share a common segment. That's what it is, Rumpus. Do you
No,
not
it isn't.
agree
You don't
that
understand.
it is a straight line test?
No, you've got it wrong. Your test does not you do not understand that if you meet, you're not observing from one end to the other and then measuring whether or not there is
Rumpus,
a drop in between.
A dark shark is a joke. It's not what you do. You don't observe from one end to the other. There's
That's
two
exactly
different
what you
ends.
do.
No, it's not, Rumpus. No one thinks that, apart from
They do.
people that have never actually practically done it.
Here's what you're doing.
I think that for real.
What you
Here's
think you
what
have
you
to
do.
observe it? Is that?
Let me have a word with Bev, the Rumpus. Go ahead,
I
Bev.
think, right, I think you've seen people go up to the top of a mountain and wave a little short water level out and look across it, haven't you?
Yeah, I see
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Do you think that's how you use a water level?
You can use it like that.
No,
The fact you don't
Rumpus.
understand that-
Rumpus.
Let me talk to
He
Bev
asked
for
me a
minute.
question.
No, I
Jose.
didn't
He
ask
asked
you
me-
a question.
He asked me.
Oh.
It's not about you,
So-
Rumpus. Not
that-
always
yeah,
about
that's
you.
one way. Yeah, that's one way that it can be used, and you can determine whether
No,
it's measuring
Jose,
something or not.
Jose, you don't ever use a water level like that. Ever.
I mean, but people use it like that.
No,
It's
I've
whether
I've
you
seen
accept
people use
what is
it, but
used
guess
for or not.
who those people are that use it like that, Jose? They're not people that
People
use
with the
it
tool.
practically. That's not a practical use of the tool.
But
Yes, it
people
is.
with the tool,
It's
can
not,
use it.
Rumpus,
Hold on,
please.
From Jessica Slosky in the YouTube chat, big shout out. Thank you, Jesse, for your support to the channel. And he say, I'm working outside today, shopping through the woods. Suggested research for flat earthers. How was the tunnel built beneath the English Channel? Show us, he say. Good point, Jesse. Thank you very much.
I think Bev done some work on that, didn't you, Bev, the other day?
Oh yeah, we've got plenty of pictures of the Channel Tunnel.
Yeah.
It goes down in a layer of rock, but the most important part is that the water level is straight line. It's really weird when people do elevation things like that. It's always a straight line. I don't know why that happens. Like, it's almost as if anybody that talks about elevation always conflates elevation with curvature when it's just a vertical change in height is an elevation change. I wanted to ask the other day, like, I came on here and showed everyone a test for a straight line check. Everyone been over it, checked out, see whether it's good, is it? Because that's what was the idea of it, that you check out the test and work out whether the method is good or not. So have we got any feedback from anyone? I mean, we've had plenty of feedback from guys on it, over there on the ones that come over. Any from you guys?
In the comment section, there's a few comments, but it's mostly like little trolling and having fun in the comment section. But as for we got a bunch of people here, maybe we can hear this in real time feedback about this test.
Yeah, please, guys. Anyone got any like a geometric feedback on the test? Practical feedback? Anybody have checked anything like that? What about you, Larry? Surveying.
Well, during your presentation, was there a point, I don't know if I missed it, where you actually explained exactly what you're going to do? When I went back and listened to it, that's what I was looking for. And maybe I missed it, maybe someone else caught it, but I didn't actually hear you actually explain how you're going to do it. Like
a water level.
How high are your posts going to be? How far apart they're going to be?
100 meters.
Where you're going to do it at
the side of a canal.
Are you gonna sight from the first pole to the last pole?
See, this is my test. This is what I was asking. Have you looked over it, right? And have you looked over it? And do you have any problems with it, right? If you were to do it, how would you do it better?
I would sight from the first pole to the farthest pole that I could see.
Dark shark.
And I would check to see if every single one of those poles were in line,
Yeah.
that's how I would do it. Is
Okay.
that what you're gonna
What
do?
with?
No.
What with? What
No,
would you use?
you do not cite water levels. You don't need to. Once you understand
Yes,
how
you
a water
do.
level works, and you can see the water level at each end of the tube, you know for a fact
hang
that
on.
the water level is level. You don't need to cite
Hang on,
it
he
from
just
one
said
end
you
to the
don't need
other.
to cite it.
my
You have to
Yes,
see it.
yes, I
one
did.
second.
Yes, I did,
Please, let me do
Davros.
this. Yeah, please, Bev, let me do this. Maybe Digital Davros didn't get the memo. Microphone priority for non-globe proponents. If you interrupt them or dare to talk over them, you will get server muted. So if you got a question, comment, or concern, you gotta wait for your chance, and your chance is whenever they decide to stop talking. They have microphone priority. If they want to talk 2 hours uninterrupted, 3 hours, they can do it today. Yes. So please don't go hang on. You gotta wait for them to give you a green light.
Thank you,
Did he
Jose.
ask for a response?
Yeah,
Bev,
had
would
I
it be an
finished?
idea to go through?
I got a question.
Was I explaining how the water level worked, or?
I think so.
I think so, right?
Continue, please.
When you fill a water level up with water, the water will equalize to itself. Right? The water establishes the level. And then what you can do is you can get a little pencil and you can go to each end of the water level and just put a little mark on how high the level is of that water within that tube. It's very simple. Really simple.
Okay. Wait, hold on. Okay, so let's say you have.
Wait a minute, B-Ball. Was that was it Davros that wanted to get in? You're butting in front of Davros, who was butting in earlier. Can we see what Davros wanted to do? What he got? What did you get triggered off?
Hang on.
I just got
the quick critique.
Go ahead.
You said we don't need to cite it, but we have to see it. Do you understand the contradiction there?
We don't need to cite it. Yeah, because there's no such thing as we made the Dark Shark for a joke, right? You do not need sites for water levels. Yes, you don't need sites for water levels, Davros. Do you think you do?
You said you
He's
need
taking
to
the
see
piss,
it.
mate. He says,
Yes,
do
you
need
do
to look
need
at
to
it?
see it, yes. But you
I
don't
don't
need
need
to
to
cite
cite it.
one from the other.
May I got
Okay.
Yeah, there's a little bit of misunderstanding
Yeah.
because you need to see it, because I don't think a blind person can do this test, because you gotta see what you're doing, but you don't have to cite it. It's
Yeah,
not-
you don't need to get like a telescope or anything like that to look at it one from the other. That would be absolutely ridiculous. Nobody
Well,
would
why
think
would
you
you
would
do
have
that,
to
though?
do
Yeah,
that.
hang on. Then how do you know each one's at the same level?
Because it's a water level, it's a tool, right? And
No.
if wait a minute, Davros, did you watch any of the test? Have you been over it?
All right.
Have you, Davros, please,
Hang on.
please answer the question. Have you
Hang on.
seen the
you
test?
Said you wanted critique on this.
Yes,
Yeah,
and I'm
this is
asking
how
you,
it's supposed to
have
go.
you seen the test?
I asked you a question.
Yes,
How
and
do you
I'm
know
asking
each one's
you
level to the
how
other?
much, I need to clarify how much of the test you have seen, because then I will know and understand why you're asking this question. Whether you've understood the test or you've not even seen the test. One or the other.
Bev.
Which one is it?
Bev, that's enough.
Please.
All right. Why do you keep
Please,
talking
Davros.
and saying the same thing 3 times?
Answer the question, please, Davros.
Yes, I know what your test is. I'm asking you a
Have
simple
you
question.
seen the test that I did here
Did I
the
not
other
just
day?
say yes?
Okay, brilliant. So you know
Right.
it's a
Now
geometric
shut up
test
and let
for
me-
a straight line.
Shut up and let me
Don't,
say...
don't tell me to shut up, please. Thank you very much, Jose. You're on top of that. I'm done with him. He's useless.
May I?
Please, no more.
May I?
Yeah, go on.
In your diagram of your test, at the opening phases, you drew the lines, the long body of water, and how ludicrous it would be to have the center of that body of water be above the line.
Yep.
Correct?
Absolutely,
Now,
yes.
Now, when you set up your water level with your 4 columns and then you advance it forward, overlapping properly.
5 columns.
You're extending the line, like you said, with the shared segment.
Yep.
Now, I thought the point of your test was to show whether or not the point in the middle would be higher or above the line, subtended by the two endpoints, just like in your sketch of the lake. So I didn't understand why you would draw the lake with that long cord and talk about how ludicrous it would be for the water surface to be above that cord, and then you build a water level, set up the arc, and then not measure the height of the center point from the cord suspended by the end point. That's what I thought your test was. And that's why I said, go girl. Yeah, that's a good test.
Okay, so when you establish from one end to the other, you call that a chord?
Yes, I do.
Okay, now, when you call that a chord, would you call that chord horizontal?
I would call it parallel to horizontal of the point in the middle. Yes.
So, yeah, parallel to horizontal then?
Yeah.
Yeah, because all horizontals are parallel, right? You don't get horizontals intersecting with each other, do you?
Parallel to the horizontal at the middle of the arc. No other place.
Right, but you imagine that center point of the overall level to be at a higher level than that. Right, because you said that the horizontals are parallel. So the chord, you'd say, and then the midpoint. Is there a vertical distance in between those two horizontals that are parallel?
That is what I thought you were going to measure. You were going to subtend the line from the extreme left to the extreme right and measure up to the water level marks at the middle.
Right. Yeah,
that's what
the test was.
And I gave you high marks for that test. I was looking to see the results, and then you said, "But I'm not going to measure the any deviation from the far left point to the far right point, and you're not going to measure up to see if you can measure up." And therefore, I have to take marks away from your test.
Larry, it's a straight line test. It's a test to show you it is a straight line. If there's any hump there, it will show it. But I'm telling you, it's a straight line test. It's a proof for a straight line.
Allow me, Larry.
Well, don't speak over Larry.
Okay, please, somebody else carry the torch, because I worked with him. I had to put up with him all day Saturday, and I gave him high marks for his test layout, but then he wasn't going to complete the test, because when he drew the red arc and the blue arc under his water level, I said, it's the same arc extended. And he said, no, it isn't. It's two humps.
Mm-hmm.
That point, yeah.
The hump from in the middle of it. Like, you imagine a hump in the middle of the two ends. Wherever the two ends may be, you imagine the hump in the middle of it.
I thought you were going to demonstrate by your test the lack of hump or the reality of the hump. And so you decided not to pull a line from end to end and measure up to the point in the middle. Well, you're just saying it's straight. You're not showing it straight. You're not measuring it if it is straight or showing us we are wrong.
It's showing it's not curved.
No, Bev, it's not showing you any way to differentiate between the two.
Of course it does.
The way you want to do it.
Am I right? Am I right in that critique? Do I have any substantial argument going on there, guys?
I don't think you do, but I mean, carry on. Or do you want to tap out to somebody else? Yeah, Brian's a bit triggered.
Yeah, can I? Let's hear. Let me. Yeah, before we continue, Brian Peck. This is the memo. Flat non-globe proponents have a microphone priority. Nobody will interrupt them. If they are interrupted by globe proponents and non-flat earthers, they will be server muted. So choose when you want to talk wisely.
Okay. I'd like to go ahead and use a little bit of the time that I have now to say, Bev, just because someone disagrees with you doesn't mean that you should try to instigate a situation to get out of control by using the dog whistles. Don't use triggering. Don't use spiraling. Don't use any of that nonsense. Try to have a conversation. Don't be whatever you were just trying to be.
It was you that just jumped in, mate, not me. We were having a conversation with Larry. You were the one that jumped in.
No,
So
actually,
Bev,
it was you. It was you yelling over top of Larry, trying to talk.
And Larry's out.
He's allowed.
I'm going to listen for now. This because I gave my point of he asked me for an evaluation of his experiment or his demonstration or whatever he's going to do with people, and I gave it high marks because I believe he said he was going to pull a cord from the far left to the far right and measure up in the middle. That's why he put that lake diagram at the first part, because I thought he was going to replicate the lake diagram in minuscule scale of his backyard. So since that's not what he's going to do, because he's declared it to be straight instead of making a measurement from his setup, then I don't know what to say about his non-experiment.
Okay, it's a straight line test. If you think it's a curved line test, then explain to us geometrically. I mean, that goes for anyone, right? I say this is a straight line test in reality for right line geometry.
Bev, what is the?
Oh, wait a minute, Chaiki, are you over talking B-ball? You're over talking each other.
Trying to talk for half an hour. Listen, what are we in a dispute here? The dispute is a level line curved? We say it's curved, you say it's straight. Therefore, we need to compare it to something. We can't say level is straight. Look, I made mark on the sticks, and I have markers on the sticks, and they are straight. You can't do it.
Yeah, that's not what a straight line is.
No.
Yeah.
A straight line is a line that is no. First, you have different points. How do you know? Did you measure the angle between them to say it's straight and not deviate?
You know how to make a plane?
I told you. I take three points and I make a rectangle, Bev.
So if you have a horizontal plane, then all the points on that plane will be in the same straight line. Yeah, that's geometry.
No, you haven't.
Yeah.
No, geometry. I'm telling you. 3 points connected in 3 lines do not imply straight line. Not at all.
What about 2 straight lines which cut one another are in one plane, and 3 straight lines which meet one another are in one plane?
Hold on, but he's got to be joking, surely.
Yeah,
he has got to be joking.
Can't tell what a straight line is.
Bev, are you going to compare your straight line that you create with the water or the ground?
Can we? It's water level, dude. I don't know what's so hard for you to understand. Are you going to? Can we agree that us adults of whatever age we are, we have the ability to tell the difference between a straight line and a curved line? That is one of our greatest assets, right? The law of non-contradiction would also state that a straight line cannot be a curved line because they're 2 different things. You can't have one thing being what it's not, right? So they're definitely 2 different things, and we can tell the difference between one and the other.
And yet we are here, Bev. We can't tell the difference.
You can't tell the difference. Did you just say you can't tell the difference?
Using your eyes.
I can tell the difference. Dude.
Obviously you can't.
I can. Of course I can.
No, you can't.
Absolutely, Chike. What are you doing?
Super chat.
Yeah, go on.
Super chat warning. Yeah, because he's with the no, you can't. Yes, I can. No, you can't. Yes, I can. Okay. Super chat. RT96, $5. Thank you very much, RT. Thanks to Zinc Cleanser, we now know that a D-chord of circle is electromagnetic energy. Shapes are nothing more than part of the EM spectrum. Thank you very much, RT96.
Can I say something real quick? It would depend on how curved that line is. If it's very, very, very slight curve, you're not going to see it.
It's not straight, though, is it?
It's nearly straight. But
if
it's not straight, but you
if it
won't
has
be able
any
to detect it.
curvature, it's not a straight line.
But
Geometrically,
I'm saying you won't be able to detect it.
a straight line.
Can Beardy
I
turn
think
his
we
camera
can.
off? Beardy, can you turn your camera off? It's killing the stream, man.
And you're saying we can't have a nearly straight line with a very, very slight curve in it that you won't be able to detect.
I'm
unless
saying
you measure it.
I think, right, I have a test to be able to tell you whether a straight line or a curved line. Right? It's geometrically based, but it's also based in reality, using reality tools that are quite easy and easy for you to find.
Yeah, but then you have to compare that line that you're going to create with the surface of the Earth. Are you not doing that?
It's a water level establishing
it's a straight
an
line.
even altitude. It's
Yes,
the
but that
water
straight
level, the
line that you're-
tool that is establishing the straight line. Right? You can do whatever
Yes,
you want afterwards, after we've decided that this is a straight line. And once we can agree what a straight line is, then we can work out what a curved line is and what difference there is for the curved line from the straight line. It's pretty obvious.
Bev, I don't disagree that you're going to create a straight line. We all know this, but then you have to compare that straight line with the Earth.
So
no, it's not going to.
The water level establishes a horizontal. I mean, that's all I've been saying all along. I mean, the surveyors here should be telling you, yes, that's what a level does.
No, it only
that straight line.
Only in one point.
Hold on,
it does.
Jake, 1 second. I need to get this out because before it goes, because something sparked an idea, right? So I typed in just 2 minutes ago, super chat, so I can interrupt. Just messing with the people around, right? So we can get money. But I typoed the word super chat and I typed super cat, so I can interrupt. Martin say, oh, super cat, Jose. So you already gave your cat a street name, you know? So great idea, Martin. I'll consider naming the cat Super Cat now. Good one. We got the same person visited the hot mic room twice today. He's in there right now. So George, if you don't want to visit the hot mic room again, you know what to do, right? Like right now.
Jose, I think
Thank you, sir. I was about to drag you down there again, man. You have to keep. I gotta see that mute, George, because we get feedback.
Why can't I speak? Why can't I?
You can speak, but we getting feedback when you got your mic open and there's other people talking.
I think he does it to get his logo on screen, right? I think that's what you do.
May I?
Just real quick, Jose. Somebody made a comment that Jose or Bev would be establishing a straight line with his water levels, and that is incorrect. If you set up water levels 100 meters apart, end to end, you're going to follow the curve of the Earth. You're not going to set up a straight line. That's a fallacy that Bev doesn't realize.
A drop, George. From one end, are you saying there's a drop? Because they've got them numbers, remember? Have you seen them? Do you agree with them? And everybody saw them, right? The numbers of the drop.
If you set up several water levels, say each 100 meters in length, end to end, they will all be at the same elevation.
16 of them, yeah.
Follow the curve of the Earth.
Yeah. That's what the numbers are we've got.
You can't tell the difference whether you're on
George.
You can't tell the difference. You cannot tell the difference.
What do you mean you can't tell? Where have all these numbers come from then? This is the drop from horizontal, George. How can you not tell the difference?
You cannot tell the difference using your test. You will not be able to tell the difference.
Where are these numbers from then, George? George, where?
I've been telling you this for 8 months.
George,
you cannot tell the difference using your test between a flat plane and a curved Earth.
Please, George. When Ruhif gave us these numbers and whatever and Brad, what are these numbers? Where are these numbers coming from? How can we not tell them if they're giving them us? What's going on?
Those numbers
but the thing
are
is,
dropped. Wait. Those numbers are dropped from horizontal at the first stick.
From what you imagine, from the horizontal established at the point at the first water level.
At the first stick. Then that's where you need to measure the drop from.
No, the
water
level establishes
not from the one before
a horizontal plane of reference.
You need to establish horizontal at the first stick and measure it from that.
Okay.
Bev, set your test up. Quit jawing about it. You've been talking about it for 8 months. Go and do your test, and once you have
Yeah. There's no room for that.
Jesus.
This is still Monday, I think. That comes on Tuesday.
I'm speaking.
You can blurt in and say all that on Tuesday, not today.
Yeah, just like you did, right?
Thank you.
Right. I'm a flat earther, sir. Proud of it. Water levels create a horizontal. Then you can measure drop from that horizontal. I don't know why y'all keep denying that. Y'all are denying that a water level can create a horizontal.
Where's the horizontal?
Because you're wrong. That's why I rock you.
Yeah. Keep saying that a horizontal can't be created by a tool that makes horizontal. Makes you look stupid.
No,
you see what I did? I mean, I can
Sorry.
let the conversation flow a little bit, and it could get a little heated. But what George did, he stepped over that thin line when he goes, "Shut up!" to a flat earther. You don't do that. I mean, that's why you muted, George, because you're telling them to shut up when they are the ones allowed to speak. I'm gonna let the Glovers, they can go in and we can get a little bit of the heat, and that's the fun part. But if you go, "Shut up, let me talk," no, you will be shut down by me. So sorry about that.
But Jose,
we want participation, Jose, but we gotta get. Come on, B-ball, get past it. I shut off George.
Was it okay for you to come in and call Blue stupid?
Blah, blah, blah. Moving on. Water levels create a horizontal, right?
Nope.
No, B-ball just agreed to it. So do y'all disagree with each other? Maybe y'all should go.
If I was wrong, I was wrong. What I was saying was he's creating a
No, you were right, B-ball.
Is he not?
A tool that creates a horizontal, like a theodolite, a water level, when used under their capabilities. You're cutting me off, Blue. You're close to getting muted, sir. When you use these tools properly, that's what they do, is create a horizontal. If you want to deny that, you're cutting me off again. Jose, do I have the power to mute him?
Please don't just put long pauses there. And so when someone gets
whatever.
To be fair, Rocky is speaking, but when you finish your sentences, you use a tone as a question, and then you carry on. So I understand.
Jose.
Yeah, I understand when he speaks because you ask questions and you make a pause. So he's gonna.
No, I'm making statements, and I'll go through it again. A water level creates a horizontal line. Then you can measure drop from it. So does a theodolite when used properly. That's what these tools do. There's no questions there. I'm not asking anybody for permission to say that or if that's true or not. So if y'all want to debate go right ahead.
If that's the case, why is Bev not doing that?
Thanks. In that case, water levels do not create a horizontal as you're describing it, Rocky.
Okay.
Levels create level. You're going to use a water level to prove that water is level.
Yeah.
How stupid is that?
Even altitude, right? That neither higher nor lower at either end of the water level. Yeah. Can we establish that, please?
Don't cut me off to say it again, please. Bev, here's what you're not getting. A water level creates a horizontal plane in relation to a single point in the middle between the two ends of the level,
which is parallel.
All points on that are not different from the elevation
parallel
of the
to the two ends, right? It's parallel to the line between the two ends.
Bev, I'm going to do my best not to interrupt you, so long as you don't interrupt me, please. Give us the respect that we're being forced to give you. Is that okay? Okay. Bev, this horizontal plane is in relation to a single point in the middle. Now, what you are setting up is not going to be able, in the way that you're going to measure it, differentiate a globe from a flat Earth. And that's part of why you haven't done the test in the damn near a year you've been talking about.
No, who are you talking about?
You.
What do you mean, me?
You're never going to do this test.
This is my proof. My proof. Not yours. This is my proof. Right? That something that I already know is true. You guys are the ones that say it cannot be true. Level cannot be horizontal. And yet, not one of you guys has even got a method or an inkling of an idea on how to prove it to yourselves. There's no proof for any curvature of the water level, because the water level is a tool for establishing a horizontal plane of reference. Now, I'm well aware that no matter what I do with my test and my proof of a straight line, right, it won't affect what you think of it anyway. I mean, this test could have been done 100 times before. It wouldn't matter to you, would it? It wouldn't matter to you the fact that you could actually do this yourself and prove a curve if you want to. Try and prove a curve with it. Work away geometrically how you can get this test and a water level to show you it's a curve. You want to find the hump in the middle, or you want to find the drop? Whichever model you want to go and find for yourself, go and do that. Please, please do. This is my test. I'm offering it up for you guys to have a look over.
And we're telling you that it's flawed.
Okay, we looked it over.
Okay.
Look it over, and there's a flaw. You're not going to differentiate. The way that you're going to measure, you are not going to be able to differentiate flat from curved surface.
Of course I can. I can definitely tell the difference between a straight line and a curve.
Please, I just gave you almost 2 minutes uninterrupted. Could you please not do that? The way that you've got it set up, and the way that you have been talked to about this, Larry's gone over it with you, George has gone over it with you, Rumpus has gone over it. We've all gone over it with you that what you're going to do is not going to be able to differentiate between the two. Are you going to find that? Are you going to find that level is level? Absolutely. Are you going to draw a chord between the? Are you going to wind up with a chord between the water levels? Absolutely. Between one end to the other? Absolutely. Well, you know what you're not going to wind up doing? You're not going to wind up taking the measurement that is going to differentiate flat from curve, because you have set it up in such a way to where you are not allowing for any sort of differentiation.
How much geometry have you ever done?
Quite a bit, Bev, okay. And this is not the point where you need to just go ahead and try to go through my
you
credentials.
You are aware that no two straight lines can share a common segment, right?
Bev, you can have straight lines overlapping each other in free space. Don't start that.
Sharing a common segment.
Sharing a common segment. What on earth do you mean by that? They can overlap. At that point, they are sharing a segment that is infinitesimally small. What are you discussing here?
Yeah, well, that would make it the same straight line. That's why it says no two straight lines can share a common segment. Because the moment they share a common segment, it becomes the same straight line. It's just one straight line.
I think you're misunderstanding something. Lines are allowed to intersect.
That
point of intersectionism is what is being discussed. Not that there are two overlapping lines, and in the way that you have a curve into another line without it being something.
The proof from right line geometry is for a proof for a straight line, and it uses the very fact that no two straight lines can share a common segment. That's it. That's how you prove that it is a straight line.
What are you actually trying to get through here, though, Bev? That doesn't make any sense in the way that the test is set up. Can you draw it out for me and what you're saying?
I've already drawn the test out for you.
No, can you draw out what you're trying to say? Because I don't understand how you're saying it.
Who is this that we're talking to? Who is this person, please?
What, Brian Peck? Or are
Brian.
you talking about
Sorry,
the whole
I've
lot?
never met you before, Brian.
Hello.
Hello.
Wrong.
Hello. Good evening.
Me several times, Bev. We've
Pardon?
had multiple conversations.
Where?
You've had him here. We've had him in Gems.
We've not had many over here. I'm absolutely certain I've not talked to you over here, Brian.
You've talked to me several.
Now, are you the globe geometer we've been looking for?
Geometer?
Yeah.
What in the hell are you talking about?
Can I ask a question, please?
Oh, another one. Go on.
What data are you going to collect in this test, and how are you going to collect it?
It's pencil marks on sticks. You like that sort of stuff? We're not doing angles. We're just doing pencil marks on sticks. And comparing pencil marks on sticks with pencil marks on sticks. Yeah.
And how are you going to do that?
By marking the water level with a pencil on the stick.
And that's all you're going to do?
Absolutely.
You need training to use that pencil.
We are writing a book on water levels.
He will prove
calibration.
He will prove that pencil leave a mark on a stick.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Do you know anything about geometry?
Do I need to know anything about geometry? You are talking about pencil marks.
Yep.
And you're going to stop after you have done the pencil marks. So I don't know how you're going to prove anything.
I've already proved it to myself, right? This is just a test.
Are you going to measure the? Are you going to measure the pencil marks?
Yeah. What it is, I'm going to do. I'm going to prove a straight line by not measuring 3.1 millimeter hump of water in the middle. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to prove that there is no hump by measuring a shared straight line segment all the way along.
Relative to what?
How are you going to measure that?
With a water level, a tool called a water level. It's one of the best tools we can have for
I
establishing a straight
know
line.
there's a water level.
It's basically geometry in reality, right? It's got two ends, much like a line. A straight line is the shortest distance between those two extreme points. Well, that's what a horizontal is, because if there's any deviance from that horizontal, then you end up with a hypotenuse, a longer angle, because you make a right angle triangle from the horizontal. So it's the shortest distance. So all you've got to do is measure and make sure that there is no hump in the middle, because the water can't hump laterally. We all know that anyway, don't we? There's no such thing as a hump or a drop of water level. It just remains horizontal. Everybody knows that.
No.
I still don't understand how you're going to collect any data.
Do it visually, right, with cameras.
How? Tell me more.
We put cameras on the water levels, and then fill the water levels up.
Everybody can run around with a camera in their hand.
Everyone can do, everyone can do this test. You can do it for yourself. It's really easy.
This goes back to my question before. So, when you use your camera, are you gonna sight down from the first water level down to the third, fourth, fifth, sixth level water level to see if they're all in line?
No. Why would we do that?
Why not?
Because a dark shark, we said at the beginning, right? The dark shark is a joke. I don't know who's told you guys that you have to sight a water level. Surely they said that as a joke to you, and you guys have took it seriously. Because it sounds ridiculous that you guys think it's real.
What would happen?
Wouldn't all of them have to be in? Wouldn't all of them have to be in line though? Like if the Earth is not.
This is a horizontal. This is elevation.
That would mean that all the tops of the water level, where all the water level is, it would all be in line with each other.
Yeah,
right?
On the horizontal.
Yes. So how would you check that?
By moving it and making sure there is a shared straight line segment.
Yeah, wouldn't you just
making sure there's no hump? You should really
so
work through it mentally, right? You have to go through a process a geometric process.
Why wouldn't you cite down the first one and see if they're all in line with each other?
Well, like I said, if you wanted to, like maybe somebody might have already done this, right? But in between the 100 meter lengths of water level, you could put an auto level, right? And if you can establish that the auto level checks the water level, I don't know why you'd be doing that, but I mean, you could use it as a calibration tool. You could calibrate your auto level with a water level, because you'd know that the water level establishes a horizontal. So you could put an auto level in the middle and check that one level is the same as the other level of the water level. Of course you could do that. Somebody's probably done that before to make sure that a level is level. But which one of these tools do you guys reckon is the level? The auto level or the water level? Which one is most level to you guys?
Can I ask a new question, please?
Can I get somebody to answer a question? Which level?
The water level.
Go on.
Water level, Bill.
The water level is the most level.
The water level will show you level.
Okay.
If you'll take your auto level then to the center of this array of level points that you've established, set it at the center, and then shoot both ends.
Yep.
You'll find out that they're dropping.
What? Both ends of the water level lower than the middle.
We got a hump.
You've got a hump.
It's a hump.
Absolutely.
It's a hump.
We got a humpus.
Yeah.
You got a humpus.
Nice. What about if you stood at one end? What happens then?
You'll shoot above the far. You'll shoot above the far one every time.
So that's a drop.
Yep.
Would you not get stuck at the middle bit that was higher?
It's a drop any. It would be a drop any direction you go. The Earth is always dropping away from you.
So the water. You think the water level drops away from you?
Yeah, I know it does.
Like a measurable from the horizontal, like you say, right?
If you'll do what you said, set your auto level up at the center, and shoot both ends, or set it up at either end, and shoot to the far end.
Yeah,
you're going to find out that it won't match the water level.
Right, so it's a drop. Now, can I ask you, because you sound like you're a bit knowledgeable, what do you call a change in vertical in surveying? Like if there's a vertical distance change, what's that called?
It's elevation, and it's measured from sea level.
You've just said that the water level changes in elevation from the point you're at.
The water level does. Yes, the water level will. Absolutely.
It's not establishing a level. Wait a minute. I think you might have got... Whoa, yeah.
Hold on.
Go on.
Hold on.
Take a mulligan on that one. Let's try again.
Don't overtalk. Yeah. Don't overtalk me.
Don't Penrose yourself.
The water level is going to establish the same elevation at every point.
Okay, so it's not a measurable drop from the horizontal then, like you just said.
It certainly will be. It certainly will be. The water level is not measuring a horizontal.
A measurable change from the horizontal is a change in elevation, isn't it?
Potential. It's measuring equal geometric or gravitational potential.
So it is a drop, and it's a measurable drop from the horizontal, which means a vertical distance change, but it's not a vertical distance change because the elevation stays the same. This seems a little bit tricky for you, Blue.
I think you're double speaking, Bill.
No, I think that was you.
Did.
I think you're double speaking.
No, I think you're conflating elevation with curvature, surely.
He was a humpist a minute ago, and now you turned to a droppist.
It is not. Wait a minute. The elevation from the water level is always going to be the same. MSL. Okay.
So there's no change then, because that's how you measure a change in elevation.
Not going to change.
Blue. In surveying, when you measure a change in the vertical, because it's called a vertical datum, isn't it? The mean sea level. It's in the UK. It's a ordnance datum is a vertical datum. So it's measured as a vertical change in height.
In elevation.
Yes, elevation is a measured change in vertical height.
And elevation is measured above mean sea level, which is always the same distance from the center of the Earth.
No, it's just the mean sea level at the
How do
edge
they
of
measure
the
that
sea
then?
at one point.
Oh yeah.
No, it's just
How
one
do they
point.
measure it from the center of the
That's
Earth?
They
That's
don't.
what your GPS returns to you.
Don't bring the Earth into this,
That's
Bray. You'll
exactly
get
what
triggered.
your GPS turns to you.
No,
Bev, on
every
screen.
point that you get from the GPS, just do it. Square root of x squared plus y squared plus z squared, and you will always get the radius of the Earth.
When they do
Every
in
time.
elevation checks, they don't use GPS. It's not accurate at all, is it?
I would
It
defer
very,
to,
very rarely
Larry on that.
even hits the list for
they do.
tools for establishing elevation checks for accuracy.
Bev, on screen, I've got the port and on Google Earth, and the elevation is in the bottom right-hand corner here, right down in the far right-hand corner.
Yeah.
This is
That's the Mersey.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
And this is probably dry docks, are they?
First
these
docks, yeah.
Yeah, and they're at what, 4 meters above mean sea level. We've got another dry dock here, presumably, and then we go on to the canal system here.
Yeah.
That's still at 4 meters, so they can't. That's a bridge there.
That's the first actual.
The second one is the same, so that must have been flooded into that one. The next one is at 8 meters above mean sea level. This is.
Yeah.
The next one
Brian,
is
you do
at
realize-
12. No, hold on. We're talking.
Sorry, go ahead.
Zip it. 12 meters, the next one. And then we go on to the canal system here. This is all the canal system. And we are at 15 meters. Is everybody okay with that?
Yep, that's as I expected it.
And
51
what we're going to
feet, I
do,
think.
we're going to track along this canal, which has no more locks in for 27 miles. 15 meters. We're going to keep tracking along this canal.
It's not
15 meters.
No way.
15 meters.
Brian, you're going to want to check your ordnance survey maps of the area and not rely on the word for elevation.
Shut up. We don't want to hear that shite. This is all 15 meters. This whole canal, 27 miles, because we all know water finds its own level. 15 meters. Let's jump forward a bit.
It's doing that by going downhill, you know.
It's a
15
canal.
meters.
Again, Brian, 15 or 50?
15.
There is no locks.
5.
There's no variation. It is one body of water.
I got
All
May I?
15 meters. And you can go from one end to the other, and it will read 15 meters.
May I?
Because water finds its own level.
And
It
on
does
the flip-
not form a curve. It cannot
repeat yourself.
build up into a hump. What they have told you is complete and utter nonsense. Still at 15 meters above sea level.
Are you
One
saying
of-
that the Are you saying that it's supposed to start dropping anytime
B-ball,
soon?
please.
This water is a single body of water until the next canal at 27 miles. And it is all 15 meters above sea level because water finds its own level.
How did you
You'll
do
have-
that, Brian?
Yeah, you'll have to speak slower.
All
you got
50 and you can do this yourself. It's Google Earth. I'm not pulling any stunts or tricks here.
Brian, we
Gotta
get that.
watch
The problem is that what you're saying still works on the globe because the gravitational potential is
No,
equal
it
to all
doesn't.
of us. Please, Brian.
No, it
Brian,
does
I'm not allowed
not.
to interrupt you. Can you please not interrupt me? Make it fair.
You did interrupt like many times.
He asked a
15
question.
meters. 15 meters. This
Yeah.
body of water is all 15 meters above sea level, the whole 27 miles of it. Now, if your lunacy, your mental, whatever they've done to your heads, can think this water can curve. What is the curve in 127 miles?
Brian, are you going to let the other Brian talk now, or are you going to repeat it for the 6th time?
No, because I need to hammer this into their heads. It is 15 meters above sea level.
Yeah, Jose, this is the opposite. This is the opposite of giving my priority. This is him abusing priority given to him. Can I?
It's okay. It's okay. It's
Yeah,
okay.
I thought
you
it was
can
great.
respond him,
Thank
and
you.
if he want to repeat it again, I guess he can repeat it again. 25. Let me see. Like maybe 300 times until the show is over. If he want to repeat that in a loop, he will have microphone priority, and anybody who dare to interrupt him will be muted.
Okay,
Now, when Brian Peck, he wants to make a statement, I hope he doesn't get interrupted by Brian Mabbott or anybody else because he need to speak his piece. So Brian Peck, go ahead.
Okay,
go ahead, B-Ball.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't want to jump on you. I just want to point this out. Like, we're giving the flat earthers a day where they can talk, but I mean, this is no different than any other day. Jose gives you guys the same opportunities every single day, so I don't understand why we have to give you guys your own specific day where you guys can feel like you can talk without being interrupted. Because every other day is the same thing.
You asked for it, people.
Can we not get
Oh,
off this
man. That was a
elevation question,
great
please?
point. Yeah. Can we talk about elevation now?
Brian Peck, go ahead, man.
So, Mr. Mabbott, when it comes to the globe and it being equal elevation above mean sea level, do you think the globe model states that water should flow any direction other than being at the same level point, which is 15 degrees above the curvature?
15 degrees?
Sorry, 15, I messed that all up. 15 meters above mean sea level. Everyone's allowed a brain fart or two. My bad.
Right, well, let me answer it with another question. If water was on a slope, would you expect it to stay there or run off?
I would expect water at equal gravitational potential to stay at equal gravitational potential.
So you wouldn't expect water to run off the tiniest bit of slope?
This isn't a slope.
We're not talking of a slope here. We're talking of a drop of something like 30 or 40 meters, allegedly, over the 27 miles.
What you're not understanding
is it is lunacy that you even would consider that for one split second, that this water can go downhill however many meters, I haven't done the math on it, and still find it to be level.
That's what you're missing, though, Brian.
Completely ludicrous.
That's what you're missing, though, Brian. God damn it.
There is two formulas you have put into this. One is gravity, and one is the curvature of the Earth, which neither of them can you prove. You have got zero evidence of either. So do you see what they have done to you? They have brainwashed you to the point where you will believe.
Put me on mute. I can't take the fact that he won't shut the fuck up.
Do you want to hear his point, Brian Mabbott? Oh, well, he dropped.
Yeah. Well, I want to get him, Brian. Yeah, we know. But we need to get them to tell us what the difference between elevation and curvature is. I mean, he was about to try and tell us. Somebody else will have to have a go in a bit. What is the difference? Because to us, a measured change in vertical is an elevation change. You can tell that something is 1 foot higher in elevation because it's measured as a vertical change.
Well, wouldn't
I need to say something, people. Very important now. I see that there's at least 3 or 4 panelists right now. There's 20 people in the YouTube chat that are so annoyed because I'm letting the flat earthers speak. And flat earthers, I've used it very, very loosely, you know, the term. Guys, I mean, there's only two choices. You can keep listening and be in the call and just take it like a man, or you can drop from the call and stop watching and come back another day when it's not flat earth day. It's not hard. If you guys think you're gonna get triggered or annoyed and you're not gonna be able to speak and you want to say something, well, then you got only two choices: either stay and take it, or drop and join another day. That's it, period. And before you go, Bibo, I know you wanted to say something. Larry Scott, big $4.99 super chat. I haven't get many of those today, so thank you, Larry Scott, for the super chat. Constant elevation is 3960 miles radius. Elevation is curvature. What part of planet fall they not get? What part of planet fall what part of planet do they not get? I guess. Little mistake there.
Oh, did he say elevation is curvature? Did he?
Constant elevation.
No.
Constant elevation is 3960 miles radius. Elevation is curvature.
Yeah, see, he did say elevation is curvature. I mean, that's strange.
Wow.
I'm not so sure he's a real surveyor, guys. I mean, you want to watch what... Be careful.
Don't hire a person who says that, ever.
All right, two more super chats. I got a vouch for Larry Scott. I seen his credentials and he's a real surveyor. So I just needed to get that out. Carl Christopherson for 26. Thank you, Carl, for the 26. I'll take him. Is Brian showing that Google Earth works in reality? You want to answer that? And then I got one more. Are you showing that Google Earth work in reality, Brian? You're not going to answer that. We got Brian Peck with a big $5. Thank you very much, Brian Peck.
Sorry,
Mavet
mate,
is
I
going...
muted myself.
Okay, so Brian Peck for $5 say, Mavet is going to abuse your rules to fundly mute anyone who talks. Love you to death, but you're letting the inmate be the warden. Thank you very much. I appreciate your feedback, Brian Peck. But hey, that's what's going to go down today, and it have been taking place for the past few days. Hopefully, we can move on forward and have even open discussions in the upcoming days. Even open discussions.
Okay, thank you. I just have one announcement. I will talk about Jay Tolan, Metia One, has made a new video and about this topic you're talking about now. He have proved the Earth must be flat because he has done measurement that show that, and he knows a lot about it because he was working around technique that can help him to know and understand what it's about. It's a very interesting video, and I'm sharing now the part of it. And he have measured it. It looks like a curve, and everything is built like for a curvature. But there is not the length that is curving. There is, he says, gravitation fields or something like that, and refraction in the air is very, very different. But that is the answer for this curvature that people think there is. But it's very, very nice video. Take a look. Jay Tolan, Metia One. Thank you very much.
Cool. So anyone want to disagree with Larry about elevation being curvature?
Can I?
I'm sure Akia does.
No, I know what Rakia thinks already.
John, by the way, John, did you
stuff.
have a link to the Jay Tolan media video? I might want to take a look at that.
Because when I got the auto level, I was asking them. I already knew, but you go to any surveyor and ask anyone which is the best tool for measuring an elevation change, they'll say it's an auto level. An auto level establishes a horizontal, and you measure a measuring rod, which you have in the vertical position, and you measure the numbers on the vertical. So elevation change is just a measured change in the vertical, referenced from the tool called an auto level that establishes a horizontal. So there's just those two lines, the horizontal and the vertical, two right lines.
I'd like to add something to that, Dev.
Go on.
When you're using that rod, one of the most important things in the process is to keep that rod vertical. If it's at a slight angle, depending on the distance that you're shooting, that would throw your measurement off. So the vertical is one of the most important things there. You create a horizontal with the auto level, and the vertical measuring rod, the story pole, needs to be vertical to get an accurate measurement. Perpendicular.
Yeah, perpendicular.
Shout out to Nug Life.
One comment to do is I haven't get any PayPal donations today. Is any flat earther gonna give me some money on PayPal? Anybody gonna give me some money on PayPal? I don't know, just asking for a friend.
Paid my dues, said what I was gonna do, paid that day. Thank you for the week though. Yeah, you've done well this week. It should be very telling.
And
keep the rumpusing down, the trolling down, and the conversation can flow, and people like that, I think.
We are going to go over that video as well. Thanks for that, because that's great. I've listened to it about 3 or 4 times. It's one of my sleep videos that I wake up with.
Which one? The one?
The Larry
here?
Yeah, the $100 one. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The most profitable video.
It's just been kind of put back on the back burner because of the people not understanding that a water level creates a horizontal. They want a horizontal line to start curving at some point for some reason. I think they're scared of what they might find when they measure down from that horizontal.
Yeah.
What feedback?
That's a problem we all face.
What feedback have you getting over there on your crew and your channel? Try thinking on what you did here a few days ago.
It was, I think, as always, the big question is drop or hump, and I think what Larry was suggesting with the building was a drop, a measured drop from the horizontal. I mean, I think that's the most ridiculous, because everybody knows a measured drop from horizontal is like a flow of water. That's what a river does. A river flows downhill to find its own level. So the drop is the most ridiculous one for me, personally, of the both of the models that you have. I know you guys like to think they're the same thing, but they're definitely not the same thing. Geometrically, they can't be the same thing. So the drop one's ridiculous, and the hump is even more ridiculous. But yeah, I think that was what Larry measured. I think he said was the 2-inch drop from horizontal.
So Bev, if auto level is the best thing to measure elevation changes, why wouldn't you, after you did all the thing with the water level, just check the first pole, if the first pole is in level with the last one?
Yep.
And to see that water level indeed work, because you might find it's not.
You could do that as well if you
Yes,
what
sir.
you could do. You could get this water level, and you could then set the water level up, and you could get your mates to come along with their auto levels. You could get some guys with a laser level if you wanted to. Bring some super guys with the theodolites and the total stations, and they've got all sorts of stuff, right? All of your guys that have definitely been able to do all of this sort of stuff. You get them to do it and show you geometrically how you prove that elevation is curvature.
That's what I'm going to be doing in a few months' time.
Whoa, absolutely brilliant, Rumpus. Where are you doing this?
In the Norfolk Broads.
Oh,
nice.
Are you are you going to let us know when so we can come and give you a hand?
I will. Yes,
nice.
I will. In fact, Brian has actually said he wanted to come, and I've offered him the chance to do so.
Brilliant.
And
We've got this loads of us, you know.
We advertising the date, so other people can come if they wish to.
Sweet. We'll bring all the levels and the drones and all of that stuff.
Yeah, I've already got drones. Yeah, I've got. Yes, you can add to the drones. I've already got drones coming along, auto levels, etc., and the water levels. I told you before. I've got someone to do an auto level, so we can check that matches the water level, and then we'll be using that and be measuring drop over 6 miles.
Wow.
You haven't taken any grief like Bev has.
A drop of the canal.
Postponed your test.
Drop of the canal. That's right.
From which end?
Does it matter?
Yeah. You're not doing reciprocal drop. Surely.
No, I'm only doing drop. I'm only measuring the drop from one end. I'm only doing. I set up the auto level at one end, and I'm measuring the drop 6 miles away.
Are you just going to assume that the drop goes exactly the same in the opposite direction?
Yes.
Yeah. You can't just assume that, can you?
Well,
you
if I can
surely you have to do reciprocal drop measurements of the
If I can demonstrate there is a drop, I've demonstrated there's a drop. I don't need to do it again in a different direction.
You've only shown there's a drop one way. I mean, you could go to the other end, and there could be a rise, couldn't it? It could go back up if you go the other way. If there's a drop one way, there might be it might just go back up again on the other way.
Wait.
No, it can't. Can it?
Wait another day or two, Rumpus, and you might get it going up in both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I demonstrate that one end of a canal is 30 feet, which is what it will be over 6 miles, below the horizontal at the other end, I've demonstrated the curvature, I've demonstrated the drop.
Feet? No, that's just the slope of 30 feet,
I've demonstrated the level, and I've demonstrated it's not horizontal.
No, you've just demonstrated. What you think you will have demonstrated would be that one end of the canal is 30 feet lower than the other end.
Moderator. Rumpus, just a second. I want to suggest a compromise.
I like it though. I like the idea.
You choose which side to measure it from. If you think one is higher than the other or lower than the other, you can choose that one. So
no, I say it's horizontal, right? Because everyone knows it's a canal. It's horizontal.
Super chat. Okay, I got two comments over here. I got actually a PayPal hit and a super chat. We got first on a PayPal hit for $7.59, $7.59. Thank you very much to Bigus Dogus. Bigus, thank you very much. I have some money, Jose. But please tell Bev, I'm telling you. Take back about insulting a man's professional career. I don't think Larry deserved to be called a fake surveyor or he's not a surveyor because it's his career. He is a surveyor. Whether you agree with what he does or not, he is a surveyor.
He's retired. So. He said he's retired. He's not a surveyor
anymore. But he was.
Okay,
but he was a real surveyor.
But he's not anymore, right? And he did say that elevation was curvature. Didn't he?
But he was a real surveyor. It's not about what he said.
I don't know. I don't know.
But he was
I only know that I've got a certificate for land surveying, but that nobody else believes anyway. So why should I believe what you say? When Larry's told us he's not a surveyor now.
I saw your certificate. I believe
next one. Wait, hold that thought, please. I got the second super chat, and I just got dropped one more. So bear with me, please. This is the big one today for B-Ball for Life. $20. Holy cow! Thank you, B-Ball for Life. Big $20. And I quote: the difference curvature and elevation is plumb lines between 138 miles at different elevations. Should be 2 degrees of difference. Whereas the elevation, the same distance could be different, but the plumb lines will be parallel. So I'm going to copy and paste this in here. 2 degrees of difference between 138 miles, different elevations. There we go for life.
Be different, but plumb lines what? Whereas the
I don't see how
elevation,
Bev
the
can have
same
any
distance
certificate
would be
in
different,
surveying,
but
given the fact that he
plumb
doesn't know the
lines-
difference between horizontal and level,
What
and he's
does
never
that
read a
mean?
surveying book.
Sorry, what B-ball?
Yeah,
Where
hold
it
on,
says,
Rumpus. Let me get Bev address this one super chat to see.
It says, whereas the elevation, the same distance could be different, but the plumb lines would be parallel. I don't understand what that means, people. What does that mean?
That means at different elevations on a flat Earth, the plumb lines will be parallel.
Yeah, verticals
at
are
that same
perpendicular to. In reality, vertical and horizontal are perpendicular to each other always. Every perpendicular line, perpendicular to a horizontal will be called
Earth,
vertical.
Bev, on Earth, plumb lines at different locations are not parallel.
In reality, I said, in reality, every perpendicular to a horizontal will be called a vertical.
But he didn't mention the word horizontal.
Who didn't?
People.
No, but I'm telling him what happens in reality, right? How surveying works is the fact that all horizontals are parallel.
No, they're not.
In surveying, when you survey to do elevation changes, all horizontals are parallel.
Do you have citation for that, Bev?
All horizontals being parallel.
I have a question.
Have you got a citation,
Larry,
please, Rumpus, of
Larry, go ahead.
Where horizontals intersect?
Every point on the surface of the
Hold
sphere.
on,
of the
Rumpus
Earth.
and Bev, please. Larry's got a question and it's related to it. Then we might get back to it, but
okay,
I know it's
brilliant.
specifically related to this. Larry.
I put a graphic in the boom. Hopefully you'll show that. And I was just
I got that on screen, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So maybe Dr. Bev could explain why does the National Geodetic Survey, which is completely, equivalent to the Ordnance Survey of UK, why do they continually put curvature or instrument adjustment and procedures and methods in precise leveling using an auto level that the rod to the behind and the rod ahead must be halfway or symmetrical. So if you're reading the rod 10 meters behind you, you must read the rod 10 meters above you. If you're reading the rod 40 meters behind, you have to read the rod 40 meters ahead. And you know why that is? Because tangent and horizontal at the level line is at the middle. And that's why when you made the diagram of the lake with that long cord and the ludicrous 93 feet of Sagita, when you were constructing or laying out your water level over a minuscule, itty bitty, teeny weeny little 400 meters, you decided that it was completely ludicrous and unnecessary to measure the Sagita, or the distance cord, the endpoints to the top. Now you say you have a certificate in surveying. I am very curious. Is this provided by the ordinance? Is it a county license? Is it for cadastral or is it for geodetic?
It's just a land surveying certificate, basic one, done years ago, before GPS, right? Just for this sort of surveying. But I mean, in order to measure 3.1 millimeters over 200 meters, that you could do that, could you, with your tools and your experience?
Yeah, I could. That's why I was.
Well, that's where we're at. Then we're trying to measure that, or I'm saying that you can't measure that because it's a straight line test. If it were there, it would be 3.1 millimeters measurable from the center.
Right. Exactly my point, because that's what I thought you were going to show, that 3.1 millimeters doesn't exist.
It doesn't.
Or showing it can't be measured. And that's why I thought that's what you were going to do. And I said, great, now you've got this couple hundred meters with your water level, and you advance that another couple hundred meters by overlapping time marks for that. That was brilliant. And then you were not going to set up the chord and measure to the high point in the middle. And I said,
overlapping segments, Larry. It's overlapping segments, shared straight line segments, showing that you can produce it infinitely.
They're shared segments of the same arc. Now,
no, it's a straight line, Larry.
No.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, okay. That's why you were going to show us it's not straight, or show us it is straight by pulling the cord from the far left to the far right and showing that there is no Sagita to the one in the middle.
Yes, that's what the test does, Larry. That is what the very test does.
You stated that you're not going to cite.
You're not completing the test by showing that the chord and the center point are coincident. So you have to show that, or go through to show, look, they're coincident. And then again, I put the graphic up there. If you would please explain to me why all the major ordnance survey institutions around the entire globe have the same procedure of curvature and maintaining that the rod behind and the rod ahead are symmetrical.
Okay, Bev, you want to address him? I got one more super chat before we move on. I mean, it may be the same, but
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what else I can say. The test geometrically is a test for a straight line. I mean, it shows a shared straight line segment, which means that it is the same straight line. Geometrically, it's the test. That's what it does.
Yeah, hold that thought, Larry.
I can't say any more than that. You just look over the test and judge for yourself. It's not a curved line test.
All right, I got super chat by John Hansen. 50 Donkey Kongs. Thank you for the 50 Donkey Kongs, John Hansen. I appreciate that. It always made me laugh, man. Jay Tolan have satellites receiving on his phone, but no cell receiving. So Jay Tolan have satellite receiving on his phone, but no cell phone receiving. There are something wrong. Boom! Shout out to John Hansen. So yeah, he's receiving a satellite signal, but not a cell phone signal. Shout out to John Hansen for the Donkey Kongs.
Tell him to get a better phone.
Can I show a diagram from a surveying manual about level and horizontal?
Yeah, let me share your screen over there.
Surveying manual. Whose surveying manual's this?
Let me present you over there, Rumpus.
This is the engineering survey, 6th edition of engineering surveying by Schofield and Breach, which is used as a text to teach surveying.
Okay.
You're up on screen, Rumpus.
Can I just check, Rumpus, for you? Just like you've not done any surveying, have you?
Neither of you.
Before you answer that, I got you up on screen, Rumpus, and so we can see some visuals. But if you want to talk to Bev, or Bev want to talk to you, it's back and forth, not too long from one side to another.
Okay,
we're right in the middle, you know.
Rumpus doesn't know anything about surveying anyway. He's got textbooks, haven't you, Rumpus? You've got some
Bev
textbooks.
does not read any of these books. Let's get that sorted out.
It's practical, isn't it? Surveying is a very practical thing, Rumpus.
You haven't read any of these books, and if he had,
no, I haven't. Why would I need to read books?
Right, there we go. So he said he's admitted it.
Surveying is a practical
thing. He knows
thing,
nothing about
Rumpus.
This subject, and I did have a diagram
Rumpus,
up, but I've now lost
Rumpus, please stop now.
No,
how much
stop.
practical experience have you had with surveying?
Here we go.
How much practical, Rumpus, please? Right. How much practical experience have you ever had in surveying, please, Rumpus?
So here is
Rumpus. Show the
Rumpus.
Can you see that?
Rumpus,
Larry Scott is saying to show the graphic in the daily.
Bev, look at the number on the page. Look at the number on the page.
Can you see? Page? Am I sharing properly?
I'm not looking at Rumpus's stuff until he's answered this question.
Right. Okay, then don't look at it then, Bev.
Okay.
So here I've got on screen a page from the book.
Can
which
you
is
just
a
mute him
book,
for a minute,
textbook.
Jose, please?
Textbook
Yeah,
for
but,
surveying.
no. There's wait, but there's no need for muting. You
Right.
can have a conversation, but the Rumpus wanted to share this. I want to share
I
it
know.
to people. And
Yeah.
if you want to talk to him or you want to talk, then you're gonna give Rumpus a chance to talk, and then he's gonna give you a chance to talk. So if you want to say something before the Rumpus begin, go ahead, Bev.
Okay. Now, Rumpus has never done any of this practically that he's going to talk about right now. He's never once set up an auto level. He's never held a measuring rod. He doesn't know the procedure involved in any sort of leveling, particularly differential leveling, which I advise everybody to go and have a look at. The procedure and how it works.
Am I going to get a go?
Off you go, Rumpus.
Right, I have set up an auto level, calibrated it, and used it. Right, and Bev, this is a book that Bev has never ever apparently read. He's admitted to it. He's never read any surveying books, and here we have in here a diagram showing you. Hopefully, you can see this. Here's the horizontal. This is the C is where the auto level or whatever it is you want, and there's the horizontal, and then it shows a level that's curved around the Earth's surface, and it also shows that at different points A and A dash, that the verticals are different. All of these things contradict what Bev has been saying. He doesn't understand the difference between horizontal and level. He denies, he admits not having read this book, and he doesn't understand that his test will not differentiate between a spherical and a flat Earth because he doesn't understand the difference between horizontal and level, and he doesn't understand that each point. He doesn't understand that each point on the surface of the Earth has a different horizontal.
Good. Let's keep it short. 1 minute. Yeah, you made your statement. Let's hear Bev now.
Okay.
Back
So
and forward.
Rumpus doesn't understand how to use an auto level. Rumpus doesn't understand the test that I've just explained to everybody the other day here. Rumpus doesn't understand the first thing about geometry. Rumpus doesn't seem to understand that horizontals do not intersect. Rumpus doesn't understand anything about the practical application in reality of leveling.
Right. Bev doesn't understand the difference between horizontal and level. I have made observations with an auto level and used it to position things, and he doesn't understand that each point on the surface of the Earth has a separate horizontal. He doesn't understand the diagram which I usually show, which is the Earth, and then each point on it has a different horizontal. He's disagreeing and contradicting this diagram, which is from a surveying manual that he hasn't read because he's got no useful qualifications in this. He doesn't understand any of the theory. He's just put a couple of bricks up somewhere or whatever. He's contradicting the manuals that are used to teach surveyors. He's contradicting Larry, who is a professional surveyor or was one. He doesn't understand geometry. We've demonstrated before now. All he knows is to parrot the odd Euclid definition. He can't apply it. If we asked him a geometric question, he would not be able to give you an answer for it because he can't do maths. He's absolutely ignorant of all of the theory.
Yeah, all right.
And
Rumpus, come on. This is a bit too much, Rumpus. Come on.
It will get worse. Yeah, it will get worse. I allow him. I want to have this little one-on-one, but we're gonna be even. Now, if Bev want to take this chance to tell us
listen,
what Rumpus
there
doesn't know,
is
or maybe
no
talk about the topic.
Jose.
This isn't back and forth with Rumpus.
Jose.
This isn't even. This
I
is
don't
flat
want
Earth
to
week.
bother talking to Rumpus. He doesn't know anything
Rumpus.
about this at all. He's
Yeah,
like
flat
one
Earth
of the
week.
most boring people ever. But we are going to go and see your test, Rumpus. We do want to see what you're doing. We're going to go there and give you a hand. We've got plenty of other tests to do when we go there, Rumpus, to help you out.
Please, everybody. I hear a lot of hot mic. Brian, is that you? Hot mic. I need to figure out where it's coming from.
Yeah, I think it is.
Brian, please. Hot
So,
mic.
Bev, do you disagree?
Wait. Nobody speak. Let me figure this out. And I got something to say.
I think it's Brian.
So please. Okay, I move into the hot mic room. So now, when you find yourself in the hot mic room, you know what to do. Mute and return. Now, Bev, thank you for that. The Rumpus, you got your 1 minute. We are going to leave 1 minute intervals. if you want to, you got something presenting, if you want to take this opportunity to tell us what somebody doesn't understand, or if you want to explain something so we can learn something, it's up to you how you utilize your 1 minute. Go ahead, Rumpus, and then we'll move on to Bev or whoever want to address whatever.
Okay, let me just do the diagram that Bev absolutely cannot understand, which is this one here. Let me just quickly go to it. I can damn get to the thing.
Yeah, this is not bad. It's a minute, inner boss. You know, why can't we listen to Rumpus or whoever? It's a minute. And then you guys can talk for your minute. And we're going to start doing this even side by side so we can start adjusting for the next upcoming days.
Here's the diagram that Bev absolutely cannot
It even
understand.
starts today, huh?
This is the fundamental problem that he's got. Here is the surface of a sphere showing you all the horizontals are dependent on any point you're on the surface has a different horizontal and a different vertical, because all the verticals point down to the center of the earth, and at that particular point you want to consider, the horizontal is perpendicular to that, which means if you draw the lines, these radials I've got here, each one of these points is a separate, or each one of these separate horizontals is a separate horizontal. And that's what he fundamentally doesn't understand. The level, and the level thing is just a oh, damn it, I haven't got the... here we go. Now, here we go. And here are the levels on the same diagram. There are the levels, level A and level B. Those are levels, and the horizontals are just straight lines at a particular point. The level is the same as a particular distance from the center of the Earth. That's how a level is defined, and how that book defines a level. I'm agreeing with the books. Bev is contradicting the books. And what he doesn't understand is that each of these horizontals...
Let's not go to the next one. Okay. That's kind of a one solid point. If anybody want to address what you say, or a separate point for whatever you want to talk, then you can have your 1 minute, Rumpus, and it's up to you.
Okay, so can I go now then? A vertical is not an extension of a radius. Never has been, never will be. Perpendicular to vertical is horizontal, and horizontals, I will state again, do not intersect. They cannot intersect because differential leveling would not occur the way it does. That it only occurs with parallel horizontal planes. That's the way surveying works. There is proofs within geometry of this. In reality geometry, solid geometry, book 11, if anybody ever bothers to actually look at Euclidean geometry, like Rumpus keeps trying to say, I don't understand, but I think you'll find if you look into it, you will soon find that Rumpus hasn't got a clue about what he's talking about. And that is the truth.
Right. Euclid doesn't mention horizontal. It's no mention of it at all because it's to do with gravity. And yes, verticals are radials, and that's how the surveying books define it. That's how everybody who ever does this professionally defines it, and that aligns with the Plumb level. And as I've said, that's why we've got lots of verticals, plumb lines, lots of verticals on this diagram, and each one is a radial from the point on the surface to the center of the earth. That is how vertical is defined. That's what a plumb line will tell you. And the horizontal at any one point here is going to change because that is perpendicular to the point you're considering, and you take the vertical plumb line, take the perpendicular to that and have horizontal. And as you can see on this diagram, following that rule, there is an infinite number of horizontals. For every point on the surface of the earth, there is a different vertical and a different horizontal. And of course, Larry and the main surveyor and Jesse have demonstrated that the verticals are different at different positions, just like the horizontals are different. He's done videos on this, and you can demonstrate this yourself. If you go and take two observations, two auto levels, pointing at one another, they both disagree about what's vertical. So we have real, on the ground contradiction of Bev, and on the books and the theory also contradicts Bev. No one agrees with Bev except Bev. Finished.
All right.
Okay. The auto levels only establish a horizontal, so they wouldn't have plumb lines disagreeing with each other because they only establish horizontals, Rumpus. It's pretty clear to anybody that knows what they're listening to that you're talking rubbish. Absolute tosh that you're talking. It's only because people haven't bothered looking into this that they can imagine that you actually know what you're talking about. I'd be shocked, Rumpus. If I were a professional surveyor and I heard you talking like you do, I would be, I don't know, I'd be a bit upset, but I'd know I couldn't come in here.
You're not a professional surveyor, and you're contradicted by the books that teaches surveyors what to do. They would be shocked that anybody like you was even commenting on this when you've not read a surveying book at all in your life, apparently, and
Rumpus,
you're contradicting it.
Please don't say that.
You know nothing about this subject.
I've done it in college,
you
Rumpus.
Don't understand that on auto level, the way that an auto level gets its horizontal is internally it's got a little plumb line in effect, and then it gives you the line that's perpendicular to that, as I've described. Internally, you get a vertical, and from that perpendicular to that, you get your horizontal. And every surveying book, as that diagram showed, every point on the surface of the Earth has a different vertical, a different plumb line, and a different horizontal.
That's good.
I have a question. Hey, Dr. Bev, do you think that
who keeps calling me Dr. Bev? Who is that? Please.
That's Larry. Yeah. Okay, Bev. Are you saying that the Royal Engineers, the Ordnance Survey of UK, are liars? Yes, no.
When have they lied? What are you talking about?
Because they refer to the ellipsoidal shape of the planet all the
I can't hear you. You've got your mic.
He said the Royal Engineers and Ordnance Survey refer to the ellipsoid shape of the Earth all the time, and therefore you're contradicting them as everybody else.
I'm only saying that level is a straight line on a horizontal plane. That's all I say.
And you're wrong.
And that is it is contradictory. That is contradictory to the UK Royal Engineers.
Well, just about the test, right? Come
on. Got super chat. John Hansen for 50 Donkey Kongs. Thank you, John Hansen, for the more Donkey Kongs. I'll take him. Protect Super Cat's ears when the flurfs rumble on. Please, and boom. Shout out to John Hansen. Thank you very much. I'll take the Super Cat.
I mean, Bev, you can't deny you are contradicting all of the textbooks, all of the institutions that do surveying, professional surveyors like Larry, and observations that he's done, including of the drop and the fact that parallel different auto levels separated by a few hundred yards.
Rumpus, that was kind of a point. We don't need to go too far.
Yeah, I don't need to keep telling me. I state, I will state again, right?
Go ahead.
I state that level is a straight line on a horizontal plane. I've given you guys a rundown from right line geometry from the first principles all the way to the end, right? The 7 basic facts. And then using those 7 basic facts of reality, I've devised the test to do. That is practical and available for anyone to do for themselves. The method is there.
Fallacious.
A straight line can't share a common segment. That's what it is, Rumpus. Do you not agree that it is a straight line test?
No, you've got it wrong. Your test does not you do not understand that if you meet, you're not observing from one end to the other and then measuring whether or not there is a drop in between.
A dark shark is a joke. It's not what you do. You don't observe from one end to the other. There's two different ends. No, it's not, Rumpus. No one thinks that, apart from people that have never actually practically done it.
Here's what you're doing.
I think that for real.
What you think you have to observe it? Is that?
Let me have a word with Bev, the Rumpus.
I think you've seen people go up to the top of a mountain and wave a little short water level out and look across it, haven't you?
Yeah, I see that, yeah.
Do you think that's how you use a water level?
You can use it like that.
No, Rumpus. Rumpus.
Let me talk to
he
Bev
asked me a question.
No, I didn't ask you a question.
He asked me.
It's not about you, Rumpus. Not always about you.
That's one way that it can be used, and you can determine whether it's measuring something or not.
Jose, you don't ever use a water level like that. Ever.
I mean, people use it like that.
No, I've seen people use it, but guess who those people are that use it like that, Jose? They're not people that
People
use
with the
it
tool.
practically. That's not a practical use of the tool.
But
Yes,
people
it
with
is.
the tool,
It's
can
not,
use it.
Rumpus, please.
Now, what I meant when you say nobody thinks like that, I think that in order to determine now if this a water level test, what is it gonna say at the end of the day? You need to measure. Let's say I got 5 points: A, B, C, D, and E. So A is the first point, E is the last point. So we need to figure out what's going on with B, C, and D. So I'm not gonna go measure point A. I'm gonna measure 15 feet from the ground to the mark. Point B, 15 feet. Everything is 15 feet. So I'm not gonna say period, done. The earth is flat, it's a horizontal line because of the water level. I need to now step out to a third person point of view and look from A to E and see if B, C, and D, everything line up. That's the way I think about a test.
Yeah, I think lots of people do, but that's not, I promise you, that's not how you use a water level.
Hold on.
Why? What's the objection, Biff?
Because you use a water level by establishing the level at each end. You use the water as a reference, the water level at each end of a water level.
Yeah,
as a reference, and they establish an even altitude of an equilibrium. Right, the water establishes its own equilibrium across.
Elevation will be. Well, elevation will be even here.
Of a zero pressure state, right?
Can we connect
across
the
that
logical
surface of the water? Becomes a zero pressure state. We call it hydrostatic equilibrium.
And now, like going back to the actual test, how do we know if from point A to point E? How do we know that B, C, and D they're all line up between A and E? I'm not going to measure every single individual one. I'm going to measure individuals, and then at the end, I'm going to look across the whole thing. I need to see all the points in one shot from A to E,
Jose.
and
You've
see
got
if
it.
the three middle points all line up. That's all that we need to do.
You've got it, Jose. Well done.
Right. So, what we say is, or you guys say, there's a drop or there's a hump. You have to make your mind up, and we normally go with the hump.
No, you've got confused about this. You think there are two different things. There are not.
They are definitely two different things, Rumpus.
No, they're
Absolutely.
not. Let me
Of course
explain
they
that
are.
to you then. Okay. No,
geometrically, you don't understand.
They're
Rumpus.
identical.
Hold up. Okay, guys, hold on, Rumpus. Bearded, you want to say something? Go ahead, man.
All right. Don't ask why I have this out. I'll explain.
You're gonna use your camera. Let me switch it
real quick. I'm not sure. Can y'all see? There you go.
Yeah, got a saw blade. Yep.
You see this, right?
I like the little camera demonstration. So you're up on screen. Yeah, go ahead.
You seeing that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we see it. I mean,
okay. So you think that's a hump, right?
It's a sawtooth.
Yes or no? What the fuck ever, man. You know you understand the concept, right?
Yeah, it's a curve. It's a curved surface, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's curved all the way around, right?
Absolutely. It's a circle.
Okay.
It's a representation of a circle.
It's a circle. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. Okay. So can you show me where the hump is?
In the circle.
Hmm?
In the circle.
There ain't no hump in the circle of the flat there, but if it has to be.
If you go in, are you going to do a chord?
You just direct my finger. Show me where the hump is.
It's a circle, dude.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so show me where the hump is.
Okay, we're talking about reality now, right? You point into a saw blade.
Hey.
Are you going to put a water level at one end, put a level point on it at one end and a level point at the other end?
Show me.
Put a level point across it. Go on. As though it's a water level.
I'm waiting.
It's a water level.
Water levels. It's nothing about that.
Who is this? Bearded. Bearded. A water level has two ends, right? What are you waving one finger around with? What are you doing that for? Show me both ends of a water level, hold one end in each hand,
Dude,
and put it across there so it's level.
I watched your demonstration.
You will see the hump.
I watched your demonstration, and you claimed that there was either a hump or a drop.
Yes.
So show me here where that is. Point to that right now.
Where's the straight line that you are going to draw from one end of your water level to the other end of the water level? Do you want me to get? Do you want me to get Jesse Kozlowski clip of where he shows you?
We are spiraling, all of us.
This isn't it. I'm okay. So where do I need to draw a straight line to get a hump only?
That's up to you, dude. Don't forget, you've also got to have a drop at the same time. It's a paradox.
There's a ruler. Please tell me where in this, on this particular shape, do I draw a straight line to get a hump?
Do you know where a level is? Where would you put a level of water
No one
level?
said anything about a level.
Yes, we did. That's what we're talking about. Bearded. We're talking about a level. We're talking about a level, Bearded.
Hold up, dude.
Yeah.
Do you want me to get my camera on?
Yeah, I changed your screen for a second. Let me share mine for a second because I got this camera. Fucking hey, what's going on here? There you go. Let's get a three-dimensional object instead of a two-dimensional for this hump that Bearded attempted to show. So if I want to throw a water level test from North America to South America, are you calling this segment the hump from here to here? This surface right here.
So that's a three-dimensional object there, right, Jose?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so if you draw the shortest distance between those 2 points that you've just done, you would make a chord, wouldn't you, through the circle?
A straight line across, inside the circle, unless it's over the surface of the Earth,
so
it will be a curve.
The bit that was the curved bit that would be there across from each point, from the one point to the other, there would be a straight bit and then a segment that is a hump, wouldn't there?
Oh, no. I needed to do that just because squeaky earth just took me off mentality. But what Bearded Devil representation, it was in a 2D flat surface. This 3D. Now a test is going to be such a minuscule segment.
That's Euclidean, Jose.
In a big serpent.
That's
in a big segment. A straight line between wait. A
you
straight
can't
line,
you can't say it's 3D, Jose. You'll get them. They'll go crazy, Jose. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but wait, Bev. Let me explain to you. So if I want to travel in a straight path from here, North America, from New York to South America, I'm gonna go through the surface of the Earth. So I'm gonna go in a great circle route. It's gonna be a straight path between the 2 points. Straight path makes a great circle route, right? You understand that, right?
Yeah, but you've just done a great circle, and a great circle is a straight line in spherical geometry, and spherical geometry is the geometry of the two-dimensional representation of the spherical object. But that's the three.
I want to travel.
That's the point, though, Jose.
In the surface from point A to point B.
Yeah, but that's the point. That what you're looking at there is a three-dimensional Euclidean shape.
Like Earth, like the shape of the Earth, right?
But
like
it's not.
Earth, like
you cannot. Please don't conflate a great circle as a straight line whilst holding a three-dimensional Euclidean shape and showing us a curved line.
A straight line, I can drive straight, and it's going to be on the surface of the Earth.
It's on a three-dimensional thing, though, right? That's a curved line.
Can I show this drop diagram? Can I show this drop diagram? Can I show this drop?
Can I have 60 seconds here, Bev? And then I'll stay shut. I think I can sum all this up and what's going on here. Is what in Bev's test, let's say we have 10 water levels, each 104 meters long, so that we can lay 100 meters out on the surface of the earth and have 2 risers on either end, each 2 meters high. So a total of 104 meters. Now we set 10 of these end to end to establish a 1 kilometer line. So we have 10 100 meter water levels. Now we set them up so that the end of the first water level riser is paired with the with the end of the next water level, and we do that. So we have 2 risers together from the previous water level and the next water level, and we go along and we fill these water levels up so that the water on the 2 risers that are together match up, and we go all the way along. And let's say we fill them up so that the water level, the water in the risers are at an elevation of, say, 1 meter. So we fill the risers halfway up. They're 2 meter long risers. Now, what Bev is doing and maintaining is that if we draw a line from one end of one water level to its other end, this line is level line. We all agree that the water levels, the level of the water, the height of the water in each of the riser tubes going along the 10 water levels are all level, because we've matched the water heights up on each pair of risers. Now we all agree with that. We know that's going to be the case. And by the time we get to the 10th one, we know that the elevation of the water at the end of the 10th water level is the same as the height of the water in the first water level. And we say that all the water levels have the water in the risers at the same level. Now what Bev is saying, and where you give him wiggle room, is saying that level is horizontal. So in Bev's thinking, he can draw a line from the between the ends of individual water levels and say those are horizontals, because those lines are level lines because the ends are level. So he's saying we have horizontal lines. Now to him, all horizontals are parallel. So since we have a horizontal line on each 10 of the 10 water levels, he's saying that these horizontals, they're all level. These lines are all level. They're all horizontal. Hence, they all have to be in a straight line. Hence, he's shown that the Earth is flat. But
whoa, Judge, no, just showing that level is horizontal. I mean,
okay, that's fine.
Yeah, you're adding that own conclusion in at the end there, are you? Is that why you're so obsessed?
The point you're missing here, though, Bev, either purposely ignoring or not aware of, that there's a second solution to the problem. There's another geometry that also satisfies all the requirements, and that is a curved Earth.
What do you mean? No, George, no, it does not. You can't just swap spherical geometry in there.
Yes, no, because what you're doing...
Let him address it, George. George, let him address it, because you spoke for a little bit, so let him address it.
Okay, I just want to answer this.
Yeah, George, you gotta let him address you.
He said just 60 seconds was all you wanted, George.
Beef, for you point out one thing.
Okay, go on then.
Just talking about, the ball has to bend in all directions. And if you're taking many points and draw lines, then you have to do it in all directions.
Yeah, that's true.
And point out and in higher elevation, point parallel lines over this measurement. Then you will see if there's curvatures or not. And I will promise you.
Can I have a go now, John?
Yeah, real quick.
George, no, not real quick. Let me just make this point where you just said you could just swap in another geometry. You can't just swap in another geometry just like that, Judge. That's not how it's done. We use vertical and horizontal as our frames of reference in reality.
But what you're
You
doing
can't,
here, Bill,
George, you cannot just take that horizontal and turn it into a circle because you've just decided to make...
You're not. The point you're missing is what you're doing by drawing a line between the ends of each water level, drawing a straight line. What you are doing is you are circumscribing the Earth in piecewise linear approximation. You're approximating the smooth curve of the Earth with a multi-sided polygon. That's essentially what's happening here.
Straight line segments.
Here.
George.
I've got a diagram for that very thing here.
But he's Bev needed time to speak.
Yeah. This shared straight line segment does not make a circle. That's also the joke of the Dornagon.
You're claiming it's shared. You're claiming it's parallel.
Yes,
it's not.
It's a geometric proof of a shared straight line segment.
They're not the same angle.
There's no angle.
Anyway,
it's a shared straight line segment.
No, it's not.
The test
anyway,
is...
I'm trying to show you this drop. I was trying to show you a drop and trying to explain to you this drop versus hump idea that you've got. And I've got a diagram ready to go into that thing I've been trying to do for the last 10 minutes before George came.
I'm not looking at your thing because I was just got all the numbers out. I've got the numbers out for what George was describing.
Yeah, okay, don't look at them, Bev.
Rumpus, please.
Rumpus.
George just wanted.
10 minutes.
George just wanted.
But it's still their priority.
60 seconds to explain something. He then went on to explain Slice Barkane's water level test, the very exact level where you put the water levels next to each other. Now, Slice Barkane actually has this test, George, and these are the numbers we've been given. And over 100 meters, they say there is a drop of 78.5 millimeters.
And I'm illustrating this in my diagram.
The drop of the water level from horizontal, which is a measured vertical, which means it's an elevation change. Now,
no, it's not.
Everyone knows that a water level will not measure a drop because it sets the level.
Do you think that a water level test can be done over 5 miles from point A and B, beginning and end, without anything in between?
With one body of water, yeah. Absolutely.
Do you think can be done?
Brian showed you at the beginning, didn't he? 27 miles of one level thing with zero elevation change.
So do you have line of sight from point A to point B?
Why do you don't need a line of sight with a water level?
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
Yes,
no,
you do.
You don't.
Yes, you do. Otherwise, you don't know what the individual, what the end is doing relative to the start.
Can I show a really?
Can I finish my drop thing, please? I've been trying to do this for 10 minutes. He asked about. Bev claimed about drop and hump.
Okay. What do you have to show, Bearded? Really good, Rumpus.
Oh God.
Yeah. Go on.
Bearded, you want to show the camera again or no?
Yeah, real quick.
Okay, let me share it.
All right. You see that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. These marks are perpendicular to the to this, right?
The corners are square.
Right.
Yeah.
That would mean that they were perpendicular, correct?
Yeah, the square corners. It's a square shape.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. You see them, correct?
Yep.
Just making sure.
It's one of the characteristics of a rectangular shape.
Alrighty, gravy. Okay, and you would say that these blue lines are parallel, right?
Well, yeah, they look it, yes.
Okay. So you would say that in essence, these sections are just simply line segments. Is that correct?
Yeah, you've drawn some lines on your ruler, yep.
Gravy.
No, he's talking about the join between them.
Hold on, Rumpus. We'll finish faster if we just let Bearded do it.
Right. So you'd say that your test is not much different than this is, right?
No, that's just some lines on a ruler. Like the test in reality is using a water level.
Yeah. This is an analogy, a thought
Okay.
experiment. I'm following Bearded.
These are a constant elevation, correct?
I don't know. You keep
It looks
what
like
it's wobbling about all over the
If it was a
place.
scaled down model, if it was a representation, yes.
It's not. It's not an elevation though. You're just saying it's a constant thickness of ruler, right?
What's the difference?
Well, because elevation is on the floor, right? And then anything
Yeah,
above
so let's say
above
the-
that
let's say
is
the floor is the bottom of
altitude.
the ruler.
Yeah, we're looking
There's a
sideways,
difference.
Bev, for
Rumpus,
Christ's sake.
shut up, Rumpus. Look, so
Bev,
let's say the
the
surface.
orientation-
Let's say the
the
surface of the water is the bottom of the ruler, and the measurement is in the top of the ruler. Good.
Yeah, if you want to consider it, all elevation is just a measured thickness.
No.
A constant
I say
It's
yes.
a vertical change.
Yeah, we say yes, Bev.
I know
Beard,
what
go
you
ahead.
say. Yeah, go on.
Either way, but this is pretty much what your test would look like, right? You're only looking
No,
at
that's a
side.
ruler. That's not
If
what
a
test
test-
would
if
look
a
like.
test
For
is
fuck's
done-
sake.
Stop being a twat.
If I
If
go
a
to
test
each
is done, if a test is done, it will look like that, Bearded. Yes.
Yeah, if I go to each individual point, I'm only looking at each individual point, and it looks no
The
different.
height will be the same always. Yeah.
They don't
if
look
you go
any
individually.
different from one end to the other. Looking at it like this,
Mm-hmm.
you agree with that?
I have to agree with that. Yes. I don't know if Bev agree or disagree.
If you
but
just go
we
to
need
each
to
one,
wrap
you'll
this-
be
this
able to
point up,
measure
yeah.
the water level at each point individually. Yes.
Okay. Now, this isn't actually showing you anything, right?
It's showing us a ruler with a load of lines on the edge of it.
It's showing that the
Why are
elevation
you
from the
showing-
ground to the top
Oh,
is the same elevation. That's
Yep.
what it's showing. Yes. It's the only thing
Okay.
it's showing.
So, but if I change the way I'm looking at it, you'll notice that those aren't, even though they're all straight lines, if you measured them from point A to point B, they're all straight. But from A to Z, they're not.
Beautiful,
are
beautiful
you-
representation. Yeah.
How are
Wow.
you avoiding this?
I'm just
You're
doing
not
a
serious,
water
right?
level, right? It's a geometric test for a shared straight line segment. That,
Okay, before we move on, and I give you the floor, I gotta stop screen sharing. But Bearded Devil, thank you for that presentation. We got it.
Bev, can I answer Bearded Devil here and just
Yeah,
shut
off
this
you go.
nonsense down?
Yeah.
You know what you could use to show that water level bending and curving and not being straight? You could use a water level. You are dumb. We all knew it was a trick.
It's not a trick.
You curved something. You said you can't see it with your eyes side on. You can see it looking down, but you didn't measure it. You know what you could measure it with? A water level. And it would
Dude,
show that slight deviation in curve. Dude.
No, it wouldn't.
Yes, it would. Try it. Get
On
you
the
a tube
surface
filled
of
with
Earth,
water.
it wouldn't. It wouldn't on the surface of Earth. The way the heliocentric model and Earth works, it wouldn't show it.
what do you
By
mean it
default.
wouldn't
has a
show it?
constant-
Of course it
If
would.
it has a constant elevation, and according to y'all, because y'all did say this, that a water level is supposed to have a constant elevation. That's why it works, right?
It's an even altitude. That's
Do you
all it
think
does.
that's a different
Yes,
term?
even altitude.
Establishes
Change the
an
words doesn't
even
make it any
altitude.
different than what I just said.
Yes, even altitude, the ground to the top. Yes.
Sure, an even thickness from mean sea level.
A thickness.
All
That was
you're
nice.
doing
Well done.
is looking at you're only looking at 3 individual points.
I'm looking at each individual point individually.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a point.
Mm-hmm.
That's just
And
one
then,
spot.
then we make a mark and we move the
that
entire
doesn't change
apparatus to the side. And we
Yeah, that
get
doesn't move
to
it- that doesn't do
match
anything.
some water levels. We just fill it up at one of the ends and then let the water level do what it does.
I know,
Establish a
you've explained it,
horizontal
but
plane
move-
of reference.
Which means you don't need any more than 200 meters.
To measure
You're
the
only
drop, right? Do you think...
No, to just
It's a drop
Okay.
of 3.1 mil over 200 meters, isn't it? That's what they give us the measurement for.
Do you expect to act as if it's like on an actual hill? Like, what if it was on a hill?
Well, that's what a drop of 3.1 millimeters is. It's a drop.
Yes, Bearded.
So you really are thinking that that's analogous to the claim about the sphere Earth.
Yeah, that is the claim. There is a drop, a measured drop from horizontal. That's the claim.
And can I
from
show
your
this?
side.
Hold on, Rumpus.
Oh,
so you are just thinking that it is like a hill, like a hill on the Earth.
It's a drop. Do you want me to show you all of the pictures that everybody's drawn for me?
I don't care.
Even George has drawn it.
So wait,
I'm about to wrap it up.
Hold on. So at the
I'm about to wrap up the show. Go ahead, Bearded.
Can I draw my drop thing before this finishes?
No, you can do it in the final thoughts if you want to.
Need to do
the bottom of your hill that you think exists. What would happen?
I know hills exist. There is a measured elevation change. That's why we call it a hill.
Okay, but you think the entirety of the Earth, as it's described by people who believe it's a sphere, you think that it's just one giant hill?
No, I say level is horizontal.
Not you. Pay attention. Do you think that that's what people who believe it's a sphere, that they believe it's just one big hill?
I know,
Bearded,
Jesse
I gotta
Kozlowski.
re-ask the question. Let me re-ask the question. Do you think it works like the marble shows with the little spirit level on the plane, that it should be curving as it goes point A to point B?
I like I say, I keep saying
lean to one side.
I keep getting confused because there are two different models. There's the constant drop from your position, and then there is the hump model, which is different.
Sorry.
They're both very different, separate models.
Yeah, we're gonna.
I don't have that model.
FE Dogma, try thinking. It's a little too late. It's gonna be 3 hours when I finish the final thoughts. You guys can stay in the after show. It will be fun. I gotta wrap it up. I gotta take care of the dogs and do all this stuff. And I probably my sister gonna pick me up. So I gotta stop the stream. I got like 15 minutes to do final thoughts for everybody. The Rumpus, do you want to start with your final thoughts? Go ahead. You're presenting still.
Yes, I would. I've been trying to do this, giving them 1 minute interruption. Right, this is what drop is. Hopefully you can see my diagram. So here we have a horizontal pink line. Hopefully you can see that. It might be a bit, let me make it a bit thicker. There is, and where we have a point here, I'll zoom in just to make absolutely sure. So there we have, and you can set this up with a water level or an auto level. It doesn't make any difference. There is a horizontal at a point. And obviously if you put the water level, say, over to the left-hand side, to the right-hand side, it's the midpoint of a water level that actually gives the horizontal for, not the ends. So here we have a horizontal we've established either with an auto level or a water level. And off it goes. And that's the line. And this is what's called the drop. And that is the drop perpendicular to the horizontal down to the ground. And this thing, apparently this is beyond Bev's comprehension because he gets confused about humps and drops. So, and he argues things like, well, what happened if you have another point down here? Do you have drops in reverse? He also doesn't understand, of course, while I'm here, that the vertical at this point here
20 seconds.
is like that. Nearly there. Well, give me comments. So he doesn't understand that this angle is vertical. He keeps on drawing verticals. He keeps on drawing lines like this because he's a moron. But anyway, so there's one drop, and here is what two drops look like from two positions. So I've now got two observers, one on the left here. Let's just zoom in a little bit, and another one down here, and they are both dropping with relative weight, which Bev doesn't understand can happen. So because you draw another horizontal from this observer, and so this observer is a drop away from this one, and the other one is a drop from the other one. So and the hump that he gets confused about is because he tries to reject this model.
Is
And
that
the reason
imagined intersecting
no
horizontals? Is that, Rumpus?
Sorry, what was that?
Is that imagined intersecting horizontals, what you've got in the middle there?
Yes, because every point on the surface of the Earth has a different horizontal.
X marks the spot where the horizontals intersect.
Right, so you really got to try. You've got to really try and think on this, Bev. Each one of those, like the purple lines here, are two different horizontals. Just
5
like
more seconds.
Yeah. Okay. Just like it's the diagram you don't understand, and because you're a moron. Bloody
Nearly
hell.
there.
Nearly there. This one here. Each one of those points on the surface is a different vertical and has a different horizontal. You utter surveying moron.
No, wait.
Who's that
Author.
sponsored
We
by?
need more authors. I need more authors before we wrap it up. Hold on, Ben.
Okay. You are an utter moron.
Sponsored by.
Surveying denying, ordnance surveying denying, institutional denying.
I don't think that
Okay. We all
This presentation has been brought to you by.
That was funny as a motherfucker. Thank you, Rumpus.
Rumpus, I got a problem with your ridiculous assumption.
Hey,
mate.
let's go. We're in final thoughts, so please let me call your name. Hellboy gave me 20 ARS. Thank you for the super chat, Hellboy. Great show, Jose. Here's a little tip. Thank you very much, Hellboy. I appreciate that, brother. Good looking out, man. B-Ball for life. Final thoughts. That was funny, Rumpus.
Hey, great show, Jose. Yeah, that says he's a surveyor, yet he denies everything in the surveyor books. It's kind of ironic. But anyway, great show, and see you tomorrow if you have a show tomorrow.
You got it, brother. Thank you very much. Beer the Devil. Nope. Okay. I got a final thought by Bogov. He had company. So his final thought is horizontal is local and off. Cheers, Jose. Thank you, Bogov. Bev, try thinking. Final thoughts.
Well, yeah, horizontal is extendable by showing that you can share a straight line segment, and you can just extend that straight line on and on and on. So have a think about what you want, whether you want straight lines to actually be straight or straight lines to be curved lines. But remember, we are living in reality, and in reality, straight lines don't curve. Thank you.
Thank you, Bev. Cheers. Brian Mabbott, you were hot mic in there. Your final thoughts now, and then
sorry about that. My phone just went off, mate. I've been doing a little bit of digging, and I've come up with this. You'll see I've put a couple of pictures in the chat. There is an elevation chart, and I want Rumpus to comment on this. The first one is where it shows you it is, and the lower part of that is the elevation chart. Can you see that, Rumpus?
Is this in from Google Earth as a sort of elevation profile?
Yes.
I can see that, yes.
Yes. Can you see that the elevation chart is there? Now, if you go down, you see just the elevation chart. Click on that so you expand it.
Right.
Are them verticals parallel to each other or not?
No.
They're not.
No.
That's over like 90 miles.
Correct. They're not parallel. They're drawn as parallel in there, but that is a section that's been flattened out, and the verticals in there are not parallel.
I'm sorry, mate. They blow your assumption apart. It is ludicrous. They do have parallel verticals. They do not have intersecting verticals. You have been lied to and misinformed. It is nonsense what you are spewing.
Hold on, Rumpus. Final thought is
Earth is not what they have told you. Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Thank you very much, Brian Mabbott. Let me carry on and calling in your name. If you are the one name call for final thoughts, nobody else interrupt, please. Mr. Victory, final thoughts is, I am glad one guy with one certificate knows better than all the surveying textbooks that he doesn't need to read them. Oh, and Nog Live sucks. Shout out to Mr. B, Mr. Victory. Okay, Shaik, your final thoughts.
Yeah, all I'm saying is that level is not horizontal, and Bev needs to prove me otherwise. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Hellboy with another super chat. Thank you, Hellboy. On mute Branch. He fucking rocks. Shout out to Hellboy, aka Branch. I'll unmute you when you join. Okay, Effie Dogma, your final thoughts.
Yeah, is Bev willing to come back another night for a one-on-one on this topic?
You can come over whenever you want, Dogma. Anytime.
Well, for me, the hard part is it's 4 o'clock in the morning here, and trying to schedule it is the difficult part for me. I don't know if...
You know you've been over to on the level at any time. You can come over whenever you want, dude.
I want it to be here on a separate show.
Oh, well.
I want it to be one-on-one.
If you guys want to set it up, I mean, I'm gladly hosted just as a kind of timekeeper, you know, so people, both sides will be able to speak evenly. Yeah,
if you want to set it up with Dogma, you know, sometime, Jose.
Yeah,
I'll see what I can do. You
time.
arrange it all out, and we'll work out what we're doing. Yeah, I'll sort that out.
Yeah, like I say, the hard part for me is normally, I mean, it's 4 o'clock in the morning for me right now. I think this show started at 1 o'clock in the morning for me. So that's the difficult part. Usually I'm asleep when Jose has his show on. So if we can set it up
earlier, a few hours earlier for me, you know, so it's at least 11 or midnight for you, at least.
Yeah, midnight would work pretty good, or 11 or midnight.
Yep.
So, okay, thanks.
You must be dedicated.
Yeah, it's good. Hey, it's fun, man. I mean, I go to sleep every single day at 1:30 in the morning, just browsing around to see what I find to have fun. So, thank you, Effie Dogma. Let's move on. Hold on. Final thoughts.
Yeah, I just noticed that Bev couldn't answer what data he was going to collect in his experiment. And also he couldn't explain how he was going to use it. I find that kind of strange. That's all I have to say about that. Good show today. Thank you.
Thank you. Hold on. Appreciate it. John Bernard's final thoughts.
Thank you very much, Rumpus, for this presentation of Pentagon. But Pentagon is flat. But you are seeking the straight lines from the space, from the sky. It's not the reality. We are talking about level, horizontal level on a plane. And we can show it, and we can present it, and we have done that. But you are showing us this diagram all the time, Pentagon diagram, that it's not the reality. But thank you, you are trying. It's fun. Thank you very much for a great show. I'm Dave and everybody.
Thank you, John Bernard's Pentagon Earth Lives Matters also, man. Appreciate that. George, final thoughts.
Yeah, somehow Bev, Raki, and others in this flat earth community are somehow equating or trying to equate this drop from tangent to a change in elevation, which it isn't. The tangent that we draw to an earth is an imaginary line that just touches the surface of the earth, and if you extend it out, it goes off into space on the curved earth. And it's an imaginary line, and you measure it down the distance from that imaginary line down to the surface of the earth to get this so-called drop. But that's not a change in elevation. Elevation is essentially measured not from a tangent line, but from the center of the earth. All the datum sea levels are referenced to that, essentially. So your elevation, what you do is to determine whether or not 2 points are at the same elevation is find out how they differ or not from their distance to the center of the earth, not to a tangent line. So you get confused. You have to use, when you're comparing things, you have to use your same reference point or the same datum. You can't use a horizontal tangent, which you want to call horizontal. You can't use a tangent line in one case and and elevation measured from the center of the Earth in another case to somehow try to equate them or say that drop is a change in elevation. It's not a change in elevation. If you remain the same distance above the surface of a curved Earth, you're at the same elevation. Level is all at the same elevation. So you just follow the curve of the Earth naturally if you remain at the same elevation, just like a plane flying around at the same altitude.
Plane flies straight.
You have to use drop in a different sense. Drop is not a change in elevation. I'm done.
Plane.
Thank you. Thank you, George. I appreciate it. Flip flop here saying presente. What did I miss? I was just here in the beginning to do the intro and I just came back. Did I miss a good show? Fucking A. Larry, GPS, final thoughts. Lori, Letiaho, final thoughts. Larry.
I'm here.
Go ahead.
Okay, first principle, we live on a planet.
That's bad, Mike.
Me? No?
Yeah, bad Mike. Go ahead.
Yeah, first principle, we live on a planet. I don't know where Bev gets off telling the Ordnance Survey UK they're all wrong. I don't know where he gets off telling every university they're all wrong. I don't know where he gets off redefining the laws of physics without any replacement. You know, that this the shape of the Earth is as fundamental as the air. I mean, so he's just carrying on. This whole flat Earth thing is just gone into pantomime beyond anything. They're just clowns without makeup, verbal graffiti, educational vandalism, whatever, all of them. Because it's first principles. We live on a planet. Absolutely first. And I have very high respect for Ordnance Survey UK. I'm sorry if any of the Brit flat Earth on here, I bizarrely scoff their dismissal of the shape of the Earth, given that Greenwich is the zero longitude datum because they are the premier geodesists of the world since the 15th century. And I don't know why they just throw that in the trash and call British accomplishment null and void because Bev thinks he's outthought them. And every university, geography, geodetic. All right, I'm out.
Yeah, thank you very much. That was a little extra. Lauri Letiaho, final thoughts. Left lane.
Yeah, thanks, Jose. What I find interesting, I've heard Bev say a couple of times that he's trying to prove a straight line. And I find it interesting that maybe he's not even interested in distinguishing the difference between a straight and a curved line because he refuses to do the observation that would distinguish between the two. Thanks, Jose.
Thank you very much, left lane. Rakia Life.
Yeah, good job. Fun week. We've had a blast. It's been in the back rooms. It's been all laughing and carrying on and having a great time. This has been a great week. So one of the best. I hope you enjoyed it too. And look out for Nug Life. It's really catching on. I think we might move it forward into a server or something like that. But if y'all want to support all Nuggets Live matters, just get on board NLM. So I think that's it. Thanks, Bev.
Thank you. Rob King, final thoughts. How about Sean G? What's up, party people? Final thoughts. Flat Earth Week. Your thoughts. Thank you. Sean Smith. Final thoughts.
Hey, Jose. I thought it was a fantastic week. A lot of information out there. I would say just that part. There's a lot of information. To everybody in the audience, go ahead and hit the thumbs up. And also like and subscribe. And, we'll keep going. But I appreciate the platform there, Jose. And appreciate everything you bring to it. So, as always, Earth is beautiful. And we'll keep it going, right?
Thank you very much. I agree indeed. Well, now I gotta say thank you very much. Big support from non-globe proponents these past few days. And for those who are a little off the hook and don't know why did I do this, it all began because there was one of my live shows. Globe proponent or proponents made the only flat earther in the call made him rage quit for interrupting, over talking him, calling him names, being condescending, and all that stuff. And I say, this bullshit gotta stop, because if we got only one person with the opposite view, I'm not gonna allow a bunch of people to overtalk him and take over and in disrespect like that, which is not my intention. My intention is to have an platform where everybody, both sides, whoever is right, whoever is wrong, I'm nobody to determine who is right or wrong. That's for the audience. The audience want to hear both sides of the coin to being presented, and that's what I want to give you, a place where people can come in and present their points of view without feeling either underdogs or you think you got the power to insult people or get insulted. No, everybody will have the equal opportunity to come in and talk and let talk. And I hope in the next few days that's what's going to happen. We hopefully going to get participation from both sides, and it's going to be heavily moderated. It's not going to be microphone priority for anybody. It's going to be everybody will be equally equipped to have the chance to speak your piece without being disrespected, interrupted, or trolled. The trolling is good, actually. I enjoy trolling. Well, that being said, I gotta get out of here. The after show is running in the Daily Boom. I'm gonna record that. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and I appreciate your support.
Jose,
Baby,
one,
go ahead.
one last word. Seeing as people were saying I've said things that I haven't actually said, I would like to clarify. I think the Ordnance Survey of the UK, who have triangulated and mapped the UK, very, very precisely as far as I can say, I've never said anything bad about them at all. The only thing I've ever said is that I can prove, and I have proved to myself, that level is horizontal, and horizontal is a straight line. There's no need for anybody to get upset and say that I've done anything else and I've gone against everybody. If everybody else goes against me, right, what I say, that's no big deal. I mean, I'm not purposely trying to attack everybody with anything. I'm just making a statement. I would really like it if people didn't stopped misrepresenting what I meant by when I say level is a straight line on a horizontal plane.
Thank you very much, everybody. Jose JG out. Boom.
Thank you, Jose. It's been it has, like Rakia said, it's been a great week.
The picture that I just posted shows level and horizontal. Horizontal and level surface are different.
It's a picture, right?
It's from surveying manual.
It's a picture. How much surveying have you actually done?
From a surveying manual.
How much
so
surveying? How much surveying have you actually done? How much surveying, please?
Hold up, I've done absolutely none. I've done absolutely none.
Okay, but you do have a picture there. I see you've got a picture.
Okay. So according to this manual here, it's horizontal surface and level surface are two different lines.
Okay, so what's the difference between the two?
One's curving down and one's going straight off into the distance.
Oh, so one of those lines curves.
So is the manual incorrect?
Well, when it says level is horizontal, are you saying that's incorrect?
No.
Bebel, are all of the dictionaries wrong when they say level is horizontal? It's a tool for establishing a horizontal. When I go to a shop to buy a water level, when I go to a shop to buy a water level, that tool establishes a horizontal plane of reference.
Are you just gonna? Where does it say? Hold up. Where does it say that a water level establishes horizontal?
because a water level is a
No,
tool
don't
for
because.
establishing a horizontal.
Citation
Where does
needed,
it not say that?
motherfucker.
Go and Google
Also,
it.
hey,
Google it.
Bev,
You're not.
Google
you don't
it.
get to deflect,
Google
you
it,
don't get
dude.
to reverse the burden of proof, dude.
Google
I
it.
just
Your
did
claim is
Google
that a
it.
water
I
level
did Google
established
it, and
horizontal.
May I? I just put on the boom a graphic from UK Ordnance Survey, and I would like to get an opinion from Bev if the UK Ordnance Survey was right or wrong when they drew that graphic to explain to surveyors, to explain to military surveyors how to perform geodetic surveys for targeting and logistic mapping.
It says plane of horizon at A.
At A, not A and B.
Plane of horizon at A. So all the horizontals will be parallel to that plane.
Path of ray of light from B.
No, it says, you know English, Beth?
I know geometry, right? And geometry
English.
is very
Forget
exact.
geometry now.
Yes.
English, you understand
Plane.
English?
I understand
It says
plane.
plane.
Yes,
of
plane.
horizon
I know what a
at
plane
A.
is.
At A.
I know what a plane is.
No, at A.
Bev, you're telling us that all these diagrams are incorrect, though. Is that what you're saying?
What's incorrect about it? It says plane of horizon at A.
At A.
Apparent line of sight. Path of ray of light from B. Angle of refraction. Right? The only plane bit there is the plane of the horizon, which all horizontals will be parallel to. Anything
Larry,
perpendicular
that doesn't show
to
a level
that.
and horizontal difference. Larry, that page you've showed doesn't actually help in the debate. It doesn't
Exactly.
show what level
Apart
it is.
from saying that the plane of the horizon is there.
Question. I put a graphic from the very next page of the same book. Do you agree or disagree with the Ordnance Survey's diagram of those vertical elevation measurements?
I don't know what you're talking about.
There's another graphic he posted, Bev. For Christ's sake, just scroll down a bit.
Scroll down.
15 minutes past the hour.
It's from the UK Ordnance Survey.
Right, and what's that say?
It's from the UK Ordnance Survey. I posted it just a minute ago. I thought I don't. And
you posted it, Larry. It's there at 22:15 on my thing. So it's 22:15 for you, Bev.
Okay.
At the bottom it says, in the above investigation, it has been assumed that the horizontal distance between A and B is something in the
measured at the altitude of A. Yeah,
Okay.
that's got nothing to do with anything. The point is, it's showing you a sphere.
Assumes the
and it's showing
horizontal
you...
distance is parallel to A, right? Is the altitude at A?
That's got nothing to do with the.
There's a horizontal distance obtained.
You're deliberately deflecting here.
So what is it that you're showing then? Go on. What is it?
Those lines traveling down to the center of the Earth are not parallel.
Center of the Earth.
Yeah, that's what O is, you twat.
Where does it say that?
Jesus
Where's
Christ,
it?
you
Where?
moron.
Where does it say that? In that diagram, where does it say?
Okay, it doesn't specifically say it, but it's obviously that's what it is.
No, it's not obvious that that's what it is.
Well, it's obvious to anybody with a brain cell, perhaps not to
So
you.
what is it then? What is it that you're talking about?
It's the centre of the Earth, and it hasn't drawn radius, but those
Why
are
does
radii,
it say that?
radials.
It doesn't say that at all.
But it does. That's what's
It
implied.
doesn't.
It's just
It doesn't. It says
thinks
the
people are sensible
horizontal
enough. It doesn't-
distance between A and B
That's
is
another
measured
thing
at the altitude of A.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, well, so they find the altitude at A and measure a horizontal distance all the way to B. So therefore, the horizontal line is all the way from A to B. It's a massive horizontal line. I don't know what else you're trying to go to.
You should.
In that second graphic, it does call out, look, this is a section of the Earth, and it shows 0.0 at the center of the Earth, and it shows the arc of the surface of the Earth.
A right angle. It says a right angle, right?
My God.
It's a right angle at B and at A.
Yeah.
Do you think it's terribly clever, Bev, to put on this? I mean, are you really this stupid, or you just put
What
this as
is
an
it
act
that
on?
you're showing here? What do you think
It's showing you that
this
the
is
section through
showing?
the Earth got a centre and it's curved, and there you go. And it's an arc. There's an
It
arc.
does
So
say
basically,
there's
the
a
section through the Earth is
horizontal
curved.
distance from
That's
A
another
to B.
point. That's a small point of what it's describing.
Well, so you're not saying that
point is
those
it's showing you a
lines,
cross-section
Rumpus,
through
just a
the
minute.
Earth, and
You're not
ignoring the
saying,
diagram.
you're not
Stop the
saying
distance between A and B.
it's
showing you a
horizontal,
section
Rumpus.
through
If
the
you can
Earth.
let me
It's
finish.
showing you a section through the Earth which
Yeah.
is clearly curved
Yeah.
and has got a centre.
Yeah, and it says the line
Oh, my
from
God.
A to B is horizontal.
You can't be this stupid.
Now,
you can't be
are
willful.
you saying those right angles are right angles to vertical, which therefore would make those other ones horizontal and not the one that it actually says is horizontal? Is that what you're saying? Are you implying horizontals that aren't there against the one that says it is actually horizontal?
It's drawn in the dotted line, a level, and I think R
That's
is
not
yes, the R
horizontal, though, is it?
perpendicular. The R and R dashes are.
Well, why does it say that the line from A to B is horizontal? Because surely that would be really, really confusing to have three separate horizontals when they only mention one.
Well, it's
Like,
horizontal.
I'm struggling to what you're trying to say,
you're a
Rumpus.
flipping moron. That's why the horizontal
I'm
at A and B
really-
is the horizontal for point C. So that's what's horizontal to.
It's
Point
horizontal
C in
from
that
A to
diagram,
B, it says. That's what it says in the
A to
diagram.
B is horizontal for point C.
Hold on, Bev. Haven't you ever seen a diagram like that before?
No, I don't think he has. He hasn't read any surveying
Hold
books,
on,
has he?
Hold on, Rumpus. Let him answer. You say that you're a surveyor, so I assume that you're at least familiar with the diagram.
He has never, ever said he was a surveyor.
I knew that was.
Wait a minute. Didn't he say that though?
Ever.
Yeah, he did.
He said he's done.
Did he say
surveyor?
Didn't
He
he say
said
he had a certificate for surveying?
He's
has a
done
certificate, that's what he
surveying
said.
and has a certificate for surveying.
Okay, that makes a difference.
Yes, he's not a certified
He
surveyor.
claims to be familiar
Neither
with
am I.
surveying. He claims to be familiar with
So he's
surveying.
not
Is
a
a certified
certified,
surveyor.
but
No,
he's got a
not yet.
certificate. I want
All
you
he
to read
claims,
that.
he has a certificate. That's all he claims.
Yeah, say that again, Rakia. He's got a certificate, but not certified.
It's a stupid little certificate that you could get
I
when you're
know,
a
I
teenager.
know.
It's
It
not
doesn't
a
matter.
proper, it's not a professional certification.
I mean, if you're saying that he's not a registered with the with if there's a union, maybe you could say that.
He's not
But
a chartered
wouldn't-
surveyor. He's not even a surveyor. He's just someone who's got a little certificate that teenagers can get for
Yeah,
surveying.
I got one when I was in college too.
There we go.
So even still, a part of the course on surveying would have included this book, probably. I'm guessing.
No, he's never read a book, has he? He's admitted it. He's never read his surveying book.
Rumpus, please don't say that.
you
I've done a surveying course. I did 2 years. I did 2 years, Rumpus. Why do you
All you
assume
did was hold
I
sticks.
didn't
Hold up,
read
Rumpus,
a
all
book?
you did was hold sticks in the rain.
Oh,
That's all you've done.
Rumpus.
Yeah, but you deny everything you read in the books.
Dude,
Yeah,
I'm going to be gone in a minute because this is ridiculous. I will not be told that the qualifications I got for doing a trade that is it's an honourable trade, Rumpus. You're just assuming you can pick up a book and do all of this. It's shocking, Rumpus. I would be upset, Rumpus, like you keep saying.
Why wouldn't you refer to someone who's been doing it?
Why wouldn't you refer to someone who's
Like,
been doing it
dude,
for
I
years?
can't hear you talking
A lot
over
longer
each
than
other
2
all
years.
the time. This
I
is
think Larry's been
shocking.
doing it for what, how long?
Yeah,
All
this is
professional
what
surveyors
happens,
shocked
is
at
it?
you,
Right,
your
okay.
attitude, and you slagging off Larry for not being a professional surveyor when he clearly is.
He said he isn't. He
He
said
was, but
he's
you denied
retired.
it.
He is not. Or is he? Is Larry a surveyor now again? Larry,
well
is Larry
me,
here?
you can't
Larry,
commercial
are you a
ability.
professional surveyor again now, Larry?
My professional license is still current and active. I'm currently in.
Okay, so
I'm
you
in the-
are a professional surveyor still.
Yes, I'm in the gig society because I don't have a 9 to 5. I don't have a single company. I take phone calls and I go out and do small projects.
Okay.
And my license is still current at the state of California.
Brilliant. You said the other week that you were retired.
Yeah, well, now he's told you what the real situation is.
so
Cope with that and
Larry
answer the
says
point.
he's a professional surveyor, yes.
Right, so stop trying
So
to
Larry,
disparage him.
Larry, would you be like, you would be happy to know that you are the first professional surveyor that has told us that elevation is curvature? That any professional surveyor we've talked to in the past has said that level is horizontal. And
No, they haven't.
Yes, of
No,
course
they
they
haven't.
have.
No, they haven't. You've just made that up.
No,
you did.
No, Rumpus. You should try.
They've read the
You
books.
should-
Professional surveyors.
You
Bev,
should
have read
try
the books.
it at some
and if
point,
you read the
Rumpus.
books, they tell you the difference between
it's
horizontal
okay.
level, which you don't understand.
It's all right.
Now, you
Rumpus.
may have gone up to some people in the road who've got a theodolite who just wanted to get you to sod off and just agree with whatever you say.
Rumpus.
But if you go up to a
Rumpus,
professional
please.
surveyor, they're going to tell you what's what, and Larry's an
Rumpus.
example.
Sit down.
You're shocking,
Boy.
Rumpus.
Next graphic, also from UK, Ordnance Survey, which clearly shows the construct of everything I just said. Do you disagree and think that that should not be in the textbook?
Level is a tool for establishing a horizontal plane of reference, isn't it?
Please look at the graphic that I just posted. That
Why aren't you being level on the level about the level?
Dude, it's quite simple. I just say that level is horizontal, right? It's even a tool for establishing a horizontal. That's what the tool is.
Stop using the equivocation fallacy,
Right,
man.
that's the key thing. I think this is where the confusion starts. You use a water level to create a horizontal, but what he doesn't understand is that the term level is for a constant elevation. And because the water level gives a horizontal, he's all confused. Because by that sort of that combination of words.
Water level does give a horizontal now then, right?
No one's disputed it didn't.
Okay.
Please,
That's brilliant.
Specifically, the graphic I posted at 523, it has level, and it has horizontal, and it has vertical. It has all that stuff on there shown in diagrams. Do you disagree with the Ordnance Survey for including that in the textbook? Notice horizontal, notice the word level, what they're pointing to.
Yeah,
that's 22,
that's
23
got
for you,
intersecting
Bev.
horizontals. I've told you I don't agree with intersecting horizontals at all.
Right, you're disagreeing with all textbooks. You're disagreeing with the diagram at 2223 that Larry's put in there.
Yeah, I'll go along with the fact that I have geometric proof that horizontals do not intersect.
They do because they're different horizontals, you moron. They're not the same horizontal. You utter twat. Every point on the surface of the earth has a different horizontal.
Right,
you
okey-dokey.
utter moron.
I'll be going out of here. I'll see you guys later. If you
You're
wanna,
so
if you wanna see if you wanna
stupid,
come
man.
over, you can go over
Rumpus,
to Cleary's, or we'll be off. All right. See you later, guys.
Larry, you've got to fix your mind.
I gotta say, you're totally blowing my mind right now.
You twat. How do we know the Earth is not flat?
We don't. It's flat.
That was that.
Your understanding of the world in which you live, then of course the world looks flat. The world looks flat. The world looks flat.
Neil,
Bitch. You twat.
I gotta say, you're totally blowing my mind right now.
That's what I do. 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 What I do.
But I don't have much patience for anyone who denies that this challenge is real. We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society. Flat Earth Society.
My friends, these people are so out of touch with science. You don't need to be a scientist to know that the Earth is round.
They must have been founding members of the Flat Earth Society. They would not have believed that the world was round.
Like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash.